Welcome to Delta Green, Future Perfect, Part 3, Episode 2. I'm Shane Ivey. I ran this game with a single microphone at a friend's house in 2016, before the publication of Delta Green, the role-playing game. Please forgive the sound quality, distractions, and popcorn popping. Amber plays anthropologist Penelope Hawtrey. Jeremy plays FBI forensic examiner Darius Fulquist. John plays FBI agent Aaron Dressner. Tabitha plays UC Berkeley librarian Harley Woodhouse. Delta Green and Future Perfect are copyrights and trademarks of the Delta Green Partnership. Okay, so who wants to give a brief recap of what went on last time? Get caught up.
He got caught bird watching.
Well, start earlier than that for Tabitha's benefit too.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here. So we got called in because the Delta Green has they actually took the gate from New Mexico, where it was. Yeah, it was New Mexico.
Death Valley.
Yeah. So they actually literally transported that gate to a lab, the secret lab, and they're using little cubes. Remember the gold cubes, or whatever.
Right.
To try to figure out how to work the gate. When the gate went off.
Well, no. So you said he got invited.
Right, to go
to the lab, and so he goes to the lab.
Right.
And so they have these monitors up, so he can see while this woman is talking to him about it. She doesn't see the monitors, but he does. That the arch is in there, and there's these two scientists in these suits, hazmat bubble suits, and so he's kind of watching what's going on the screen, and she's talking to him. And when one of the scientists in the lab comes up to the camera, obviously because she's looking right at him, and says,
and mouths,
the construct must be protected, and then walks over to the gate with one of the squares, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just there's a brilliant flash, and poof, gone. Scientist gone. So he sees this.
Right.
Did she see it at that point? Because he's like, oh my god,
I drew
what's
attention
happening?
to it.
Yeah, and so then of course the
freaked
alarms
out,
go
and alarms go
off,
off.
and so he leaves while the alarms are going off.
Or he's escorted out.
Or
after.
yes. He tried to leave, I think, and he
Yeah.
ended up being escorted. And then so then what happened right after that?
Well, a couple weeks after
you
that.
were on the plane.
Well, because we had all gotten called to go and investigate the Duxbury, Pennsylvania facility.
Right. So it's another facility owned by the same company. Remember crazy guy from last time?
Right. Lizard
Hunt
Man.
Electrodynamics.
Hunt's Lizard Man.
Yeah.
So
It's Hunt Electronics these days.
electronics.
Or Lizard
But when I was on the plane over, the guy next to me was kind of just, like a quiet, nervous flyer, but then he turned to me and he started babbling about the construct and things like that. But then he started talking about the Duxbury facility and what was underground and the gates and the things like that. And the gist of it is that he was coming off to be some sort of representative of a pan-dimensional race, I guess, is what you could describe it as, that view our three-dimensional universe that we view as the universe as part of a bigger thing that they live in called the construct, and that whatever Hunt is doing is messing with the fabric of it and likely to unravel the entire universe as we know it. And they wanted us to take the gate that's in Duxbury to Greenland, where it's hooked up to, apparently. Meet with one of their representatives in Greenland, get a device that will resync the Greenland gate to the Chester, Ohio gate, go to the Chester, Ohio gate, where Hunt is at, and destroy Hunt. Thus, ending the problem,
So,
I guess.
and we've gone along
Unless-
with this for some reason.
Unless,
You tell me. You guys are all have downtime in your hotel rooms or someplace more secure if you'd rather someplace more secure to
like,
quietly compare crazy notes.
Well, I don't remember terribly well what happened, but I have this desperate, awful need to know. And I know it's a bad idea. I know that bad things happened even if I don't fully recall all of them.
Oh, and she looks terrible, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
From where you saw her 6 months ago, she looks like even more so not sleeping and obsessing over unhealthy things and just really,
As I'm wont to do.
really bad. Like way worse than last time.
So we tried to scope out the plant here, and it's got
Right.
way more security than you would expect for what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like an R&D center for their company.
Microchips or some such.
But
yeah. But they don't get regular shipments of anything. And as far as we can tell, they don't ship anything out either.
Well, they do occasionally. They send shipments over to Europe. That
Oh.
big crates of
We forgot the crate of
crates
gold.
of
gold.
electronics to
Mhm.
for
Switzerland.
yeah.
So it turns out the crate of electronics going to Switzerland is actually made up of poorly made, hand-poured gold ingots.
Inside a lot of electronics.
Yeah.
But there was a guy who was transporting it, and when somebody realized there was a whole lot of gold in there, then he got Homeland Security.
My theory is that they're using the gate to travel in time, like to the Spanish Armada or something. Not the Armada, the gold fleets. Getting gold and then melting it down into ingots.
Just for wealth, or is this another Tiamat
Well, that's a good question.
circumstance?
Certainly wealth. They're getting a lot of money, I'm guessing.
So, you did some spying, some light spying on the facility from the outside, and
Not very subtly.
Agent Fulquist tried to stake it out and surreptitiously take pictures, but he doesn't know how to be surreptitious, so they kind of instantly spotted him and came out and asked him what he was doing, and he told them bird watching, and they clearly didn't really. Well, no, they kind of bought that. They just didn't really know what to
Didn't
make.
want you, but
So,
bird watching.
and you put in a request with your case officer, Agent Cisco, to set up an inspection, an EPA inspection, and get you fake identities and have some kind of justification like that for going in, like it was a whistleblower or something.
Okay.
The following morning, Agent Cisco finds one of you. I don't know. Which of you two has the best law skill?
40.
30.
50?
But you're not a...
Yeah, she's gonna want to talk to her. So, probably finds Fulquist then, and tells you that the EPA scheme is not gonna happen. That they kind of look it over, and this is a company that's really litigious, and getting some kind of a warrant, something official like that under the EPA's aegis under false identities is gonna get seen through really fast, and then that's going to bring down worlds more scrutiny than it would have a chance of avoiding. So they can, you two are FBI agents. I mean, he's actually a special agent, which makes him a criminal investigator, as opposed to
Forensics.
a forensics guy. So, but under Dressner's status as an FBI agent, they could set up something that would fall under the FBI's purview. I mean, it would have to be under your name and be an official thing. If they're going to get a warrant, that's not going to fall apart and cause disasters from getting it investigated. Then it's going to have to be under your own name, and
Right.
and and something that you'd have a reason to be investigating. So they
Like
can pursue the crazy
all of the
gold
gold.
stuff, but that's kind of where they are. So she'll have a sit down with, you know, with the two or with the team. I don't know. We can have everybody there. You exclude people. So she has a sit down with the team at, you know,
Did she bring Harley
the
in?
crappy back corner of Waffle House somewhere
Mhm.
and compare notes. And yeah, Harley, Dr. What's her name? Woodhouse.
Oh.
Or is it Dr. Woodhouse? I
Um,
don't remember if you're a Ph.D. or
no.
just a librarian.
No, I'm asking.
So anyway, so you're there and as well because you're part of the team. So that's the situation. So
Well-
how do you want to proceed?
Well, I mean, I'll tell her that, you know, I don't know if we go in legitimately with this as the reason if we're going to be able to get to what we need to see.
Alright.
So the plan was with the EPA thing is to just go and scope it out a little bit more, get a sense of what they were hiding, where, and then go in covert.
Well, right, but we can still do the same thing. Just whatever.
I thought the dog was doing something.
Why are you not looking something?
My only concern there is that once we have this actual FBI investigation, you think it's going to draw more attention if we go in and mess up the intrusion? I don't want,
Of course, then we could call it an official stain.
well, but I don't want blowback on my
Bring in an
career.
actual team on it.
It's too late. Your career is doomed.
Right.
Everything's more important than your career here.
Well, maybe we can do it another way.
His career is a pretty good resource. It's very
Yeah,
helpful.
exactly.
We don't want to throw those away just because we can.
How do you want to proceed?
Throw them away for a different reason.
Well, I don't see an easy way for us getting in otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So, I may have to.
I mean, yeah.
Right, well, that's our only option, I think, so let's go with it.
Okay,
Yeah, I
sure.
don't have a.
Have we already tried just, well, you said you failed your
Yeah, we've tried just observing.
sneaking about.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't tried breaking in, but
We could try that.
The security seemed
It,
pretty
it
good.
looks like a maximum security prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that, so. Okay.
So, if we go in officially, how do we justify all these people? Or do we?
I'm a consultant.
On this gold investigation? I mean, what's the law they've broken is the transporting over $10,000, whatever, with the,
Yeah, probably.
without the proper forms.
Mm-hmm. And they have a suspect in hand who says that the company made me do it.
Alright, well,
So, yeah, I mean, you're the FBI agent. I mean, everybody else is FBI agent lowercase. You know, they're here on behalf of the FBI. So, for all intents and purposes, people are not going to look at them any differently than they would you,
right,
unless you're talking to somebody who really knows the difference.
right, and I'll just
Most
flash my badge.
people don't, you know. But if you need whatever story you want to tell, if somebody does know the difference, why is this librarian from Berkeley here? Then you guys can come up with your pretext for that.
Yeah. Okay, alright, well, let her go ahead and get the wheels rolling for
All right?
that story.
Yeah.
We abandoned the EPA plan, we're gonna go in as an actual FBI investigation.
Okay.
Because of the gold.
Okay.
Well,
so
this
let's
is
do
this
it.
is early morning, so she says that she'll have the paperwork, the warrant probably this afternoon.
Alright, well, it's
So
better
you
to
can
go
either
in.
execute it in the afternoon or wait till tomorrow morning. Your call.
Yeah. It's gotta be during business hours, cause.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Why wouldn't we go now?
Even in the afternoon when the
Mhm.
shit's done? Yeah, well, I guess the other question is, you know, what's our plan once we get in? That's the issue. We're gonna look around, but our goal
if
here is
anything
to
looks
find
suspicious.
the gate.
Well, or where
And
we
go
think
through it.
a good possibility of where it might be if we can't actually find it.
Well,
So,
I mean, I've already told you what happened on the plane.
right.
And I told you what I think about that. I think that this,
Whatever it is.
whatever it was, knew more about what was going on than it should have. And I, for one, don't trust people saying that they want to go and mess around with time, killing Hitler and shit like that.
Right.
Leave Hitler where he is.
Not even Osama bin Laden.
Anything more here too. Well,
All those guys on the World Trade Center planes.
it's a conundrum.
But if you prevent that, you don't know what was going to happen.
Unforeseen circumstances.
It might have been a worse tragedy.
All right, so let's go to the thing.
So,
If we go in the morning,
We're-
we'll have more time to get
We're
there
on
before
board.
they
We're
try
all on
to-
board for doing this. We have a goal, right?
But
Um,
it's just the timing. If we go in the morning, we'll have more time before they start trying to kick us out because of time-related things. If we go in the afternoon,
And they kick
they'll
us
be
out.
way more
No.
thrown off guard. Like, it's just jarring. Gone through your entire work day, everything is normal, everything is as planned, and then suddenly there's this thing. So maybe they would buck up a little bit more easily. I don't know.
Like afternoon. For that reason, I think.
Yeah.
Show up at like 4:30.
Yeah.
Maybe we're going home until we're done with this.
alright. Anything you want to do in the meantime today?
Where can I obtain some hand grenades?
No grenades.
What's your kind of knowledge you like?
50?
I mean, you could probably
Sure, there
You
should
should
be some
probably
survivalist around
start
here.
looking around for, yeah, exactly.
Just in
Survivalist,
case.
survivalist nut jobs on the black market.
Get money
Oh,
for this?
so-
Yeah, go ahead and roll. And give us a sense of what you're doing this afternoon. You're off going by yourself to
I want
do this, right?
Yeah.
Or is somebody else going with you?
Okay.
I don't know.
A hammer with a
You tell me. If it goes pear shaped and you fumble,
hey,
the
well, I
roll,
mean, like a
you
hand
might
weapon.
know.
I don't know. My purse.
Where would you buy it?
Oh.
I'll probably
Store?
invite Penelope to ride around with me in the car on the pretense that, I'm explaining to her, catching her up a
Her?
little bit.
She's
I'm not
She's
Penelope.
Harley.
Oh, Harley.
I'm Harley.
Catching Harley up. Where in actuality what I'm doing is looking for seedy places to buy explosives.
Biker bar.
bikers don't usually have
Okay.
You'd be
I've
surprised.
seen-
Siri.
I've
You're wearing
seen
your,
some of
you're
them.
wearing your
My Uncle Mutt has
Short
explosives
sleeve.
of every type.
white shirt and black FBI tie,
Unlikely.
I'm guessing that's a bad idea.
No, I'll
badge on your
Uh-huh.
shirt pocket.
No, I'll dress down.
Okay. What are Dressner and
I got 15, by the way.
Penelope? Okay. What are y'all doing while the two of them are off?
Well,
Let me go
I'm
back.
gonna,
Okay.
no, I've gone and gotten my black spray paint and which I already had.
You can
Not the.
you can buy that.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I'm gonna go back over whatever satellite imagery data we have for this facility, just to get a feel for. I'm gonna look at if I can find images over time. Just look for changes, things coming and going,
Anything standing out?
new
or-
construction, stuff like that.
A hill that wasn't there
Yeah.
20 years ago.
So yeah, there have not been recent changes to it. I mean, basically, since it was constructed, it's been pretty much static. The facility it's a couple of acres and surrounded by these fences,
Arch
2 layers of
is
fences,
underground.
and the main facility is these 2 big buildings, big industrial looking buildings.
Right.
There's only one way in, and there's one way in, and basically people park. If they're coming in, they park. They walk in through a sally port kind of a thing in the gates, and then go in directly into a security building. That takes a couple of minutes. They come out the other side, go into
Building 1 or
the
2.
buildings, right. Usually they go into building B. And
So are there just the two buildings then?
There's the two
main
big buildings, and there's the security building, and then there are a few outbuildings. Like there's a big garage that for the like golf carts, and there's like a sort of a smaller bunker-looking building of some kind that you can't really figure out what it's for, and I don't know. There may be one or two other things. They have a really big transformer farm, in one corner or whatever behind the main buildings. I mean, it's
So potentially using
huge
way more power than they
transformer.
should for this sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if they're not really, from what you've understood, they're not like high, heavy, whatever capacity, industrial production, right? I mean, they apparently make their microchips and make their devices and things, and then send them overseas for further production.
Right. But they're doing prototypes and stuff. They're not doing full production.
Right.
Yeah, if only it was just take out the gate. We could start with the transformers, but we have to use the gate. How do we feel about going through this thing? I'm not so sure.
I don't
That's a
wanna
great
do it.
idea.
But I need to know.
Going through the art room?
Yeah. Were you there? You were there for a while, right?
Oh, going through the gate, the magic gate.
I'm hesitant.
I want to know what's on the other side.
Well, that one was broken though.
It still coughed at a dinosaur. And radioactive sludge. Neither of which I want to run into again.
Well, are either in
We'll send
agreement?
her through it. See what happens.
If we go together. I mean,
Tie a rope around it, we'll fine.
I can't imagine that's going to work.
So Fulquist, give us a sense of how you're looking for your black marketeers.
I'm gonna go and visit a lot of the local gun shops
Mm-hmm.
and try and get a sense for which ones have backroom dealings as well as their legitimate on-the-counter dealings,
Mm-hmm.
and try and
Army supply stores.
All right. Well, you are you going in with him to all these, or are you waiting in the car being bored?
I am dressed like a librarian, like I always am, so he would probably, after the first or
Give you
second one.
yeah, you wait here.
Uh-huh.
That's up to Fulquist.
I mean, I'm game, I'll go in, but I stand out like a sore thumb in that kind of place.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of staring agog at all the weapons around me, feeling slightly uncomfortable.
yeah, you should probably wait in the car.
All right. Well, you eventually find one that you feel like is a keeper. You know, the guy's. You know, the proprietor. I mean, there's posters up all over the place. You know, about the importance of shooting people. You know, and how much everyone hates Obama. You know, and how much everybody hates Bill Clinton. You know, before Obama was there. And
They've got that one that shows an American eagle with a shield crying, and it has the date of Obama's inauguration.
yeah, sweet.
'Cause I've seen that before.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that, and then there's like, you know, there's like grenades in the eagle's claws, you know, and on top of all that,
Sounds
I mean,
accurate.
basically you know, you start talking about, you know, heavier, I don't know, ordnance or whatever, and
But if they
you
really
can just
come
sort of
down,
tell the guy's, you know, a light kind of goes up in his eyes as he, so how are you broaching it?
Duxbury's kind of more of a rural area, right?
Yeah, and you'd probably need to go beyond Duxbury proper to really find some places.
Yeah.
Like, Duxbury itself is a company town, and it's super suburban. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that it's not big enough to really have like a city in the suburbs, but it's just, it's nice. And
Yeah.
the cops are kind of omnipresent, and they don't really have a seedy side of town to speak of. So you'd need to be going a little further afield,
Right.
out in the country, one of the cities.
We found one of those combos: seed store, feed store, tanning salon, gun stores, and video arcade.
Yeah.
I'll start talking about,
There should be a volume button.
you know, how my family and I recently moved out here, and I just want to make sure they're well protected in case anything's to happen, and you know, because you never know if the way this country's going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Next thing you know, we might not have a communist for a president.
Go Donald.
All right. We'll persuade. Because he doesn't know you from Adam.
Yeah. 9 to 7.
Ain't nobody vouching for you, son.
Yeah.
He sort of thinks it over, but caution seems to be getting the best of him.
Yeah.
And so he says, well, I don't blame you a bit. And here's your paperwork that the liberal Democrats in the government want us to fill out.
It was worth a shot.
Now you're going to fill out his paperwork?
Put in somebody else's name and number.
What you need is a fake ID.
Yeah, which I don't have.
Yeah.
Besides, I don't want the stuff that he would be registering with the government. I want the stuff in his back room that he doesn't have.
He doesn't seem to be willing to trust you that far yet.
Yeah. Like, you know, I don't really know if I want to get anything, you know, that the government's going to know I have just because they're going to come and take it. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the point in having it if they're just going to come and raid your house and take it and put a serial number on each one of your bullets?
It can cost $2,000 a piece.
You know, and I can make it worth your while, man.
Roll bribery.
To just, you know, skip that little bit of extra work.
Asshole.
Kind of looks you up and down and says, how much worth my while?
What you got?
Half again what it's worth.
Well, what's worth?
Whatever you got.
You can try persuade again, but
Yeah.
yeah.
31. That's a pass out of 42. So.
Alright. Says, well, you make it 5 times what you'd expect, then maybe we have something to talk about.
You can do double.
Well, I can't.
Well, why don't we see what you got?
Alright. Give me a sense what direction you're trying to head here.
I'm worried about large groups of immigrants coming to terrorize my family.
Possibly in armored vehicles.
Four-armed is
Alright.
one.
Well, he sort of reaches under the counter and presses a little button, and then after a minute, you know, a big burly biker-looking guy comes out, and they kind of exchange a look, and the other guy kind of gives him an enigmatic sort of nod, and big biker guy kind of looks you up and down. And, are you packing?
Yeah, I've got my my service pistol.
Okay. Were you trying to conceal that? Keep it, hidden.
Like instead of having it in its thing, I like had it like just tucked in behind.
Like how visible do you figure?
Like
You're not going out of your way to conceal it. It's just
Right.
sort of there. Okay.
Yeah.
So he kind of looks you up and down, and the biker does, and he says,
Yeah, I'll set it down.
no.
No, like, oh, he's telling me to come with him?
Yeah,
Not
he
like
looks
hand
at
it
you a
over.
little quizzically and says, let me see your driver's license. You get your wallet out?
I'm like, why do you want to see my license?
I don't know you. And you look like I'm not sure how well you know your way around a place like this.
You have your real license is the one you have?
Yeah.
Well, it's in your wallet with the big FBI ID card, a little bolt flop out thing right next to it. Because you have to show that every time you go into work.
Yeah.
He would have come in here
It's
with
in your
that
other
though.
pants.
Well,
It's in your other pants.
no.
I'm like,
You
My-
could have
my-
left. It's up
yeah,
to you.
my-
you
my
could have left
driver's-
it in the
Yeah, I
car.
can't
or
imagine.
yeah, my
if
license
you
is
want,
in my.
and you can
I mean,
keep
my
trying to
license
bullshit
is in my
these
car.
guys.
I mean, look, I can pull out my gun and like do the.
Do
The
fancy
field
shit
strip.
with it.
Yeah, I can show my way around the pistol.
Mhm.
Be like, I know how to do a gun.
You know how to do a gun?
Yeah, 'cause that's kind of a giveaway right there.
I know how to work this.
He sort of thinks it over a second, and he just shrugs and says, "Come on in." So he takes you into a little back room, and you have human skill.
30.
So yeah, I mean I don't know. You can't really tell body language wise whether he's bringing you back to make a sale or stab you.
Yeah.
But
Could be both.
or both. But he kind of looks back and looks you over skeptically again, and then pushes the door in and pushes the door in and flips a light on and takes up like a tarp that's over this table, this like big long old desk kind of a thing, and there's a machine gun and a few boxes of machine gun ammunition and an old, like, no longer issued light anti-tank weapon and some grenades of various nationalities.
Yeah.
And he says, this right here will kill some folk.
Certainly would. When I'm looking at that, how much am I thinking that it's all worth?
All of it?
All of it? Because
I'm guessing that's a lot of cash.
Yeah, no, I mean,
it's a
individually.
shitload of money.
Well, so machine gun would be a major expense ordinarily, but it's gonna be an extreme expense here, which is like tens of thousands of dollars because they don't trust you
Right.
and they're having to take a risk. The other thing, like the law, the rocket propelled grenade launcher. That's gonna be a major expense for you, which is a few grand, but not like tens of grands.
Mm-hmm.
And then the hand grenades, each of those is gonna be equivalent to a standard expense, which is a few $100s.
Do you even have that kind of money?
Sure, I've got it somewhere. How much cash do I have access to?
Well, if
You
you
came out here with the plan of buying me.
Yeah.
you can you can have access to that's kind of up to you, in fact.
Okay.
If you wanted to bring out enough money that was the equivalent of a major expense, question is, how much do you want to hurt your bonds? Because ultimately that's the price you pay for burning up all your funding, because after the mission, when you have to pay the bills,
You have to.
some of your relationships are going to suffer from the strain.
Right.
So spending money. So an extreme expense, you just can't afford it. But if you want to do it anyway, then it's gonna burn each of your bonds by a D4. A major expense is gonna burn everything by one, and maybe one of them by a D4, depending on if you get lucky.
Yeah.
An usual expense will burn just one bond by one.
And the standard expense.
Standard expense, you get an intelligence or accounting test, and if you succeed, then you're okay.
Clearly this was a job for me. I'm the
totally.
people person.
You've got all the criminology, you've got all the persuasion, all the
human,
all the
and
accounting.
the accounting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could have.
This, if he had
You could have
told you,
nailed them.
I want to go to the black market to buy stuff, you could have told him, no,
No,
you
here,
you
let me-
stay in the
let me handle
lab,
this.
lunch bag boy. This is my job. But alas,
Yeah.
he's out in the field.
Well,
And how often does that work out for you, Dexter?
sure. So I'm definitely gonna get the grenades. Each of those is a roll.
Well,
First
I'll tally it up and make it a single, equivalent to
Okay.
a single expense test.
Sure, I'll get the grenades and the RPG.
Okay. What did I say the RPG was going to be for you?
Major.
Major. So, yeah, I mean, that's altogether. Let's say 5 grenades and the RPG. That's still going to be a major because the 5 grenades together would be the equivalent of an unusual. So, anyway, not to get lost in the jargon too much, but that's still going to count as a major expense. So you wanna sink that much?
Yeah.
I mean, that's that's like, hold on.
Thousands
That's
of
a
dollars.
lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got
A major expense is anywhere between $6,000 and $30,000.
Like buying a car.
Yeah.
That's a major expense. Being
Yeah.
buying a car to go Saturday, going off to buy a car.
Mm-hmm. So, you going for it?
Yeah, I mean, because I'm pretty convinced that the fabric of the universe is at risk here, and I like living in this universe.
Okay. So you can make an intelligence test or an accounting test, your choice.
I'll do.
Coils of the world.
Okay, I've got a 10% in accounting,
So
and as much as I would love the
you
check
have
mark,
more. If you have more than 2 in intelligence, then that's probably the one you want to do.
Yeah.
yeah, I've got a 70 in intelligence,
Right, but does not know numbers.
and I rolled a 9. So
Okay.
Could've
So
done it
it succeeds. So the stress is going to reduce each of your non-delta green bonds by 1 point. And write down rocket-propelled grenade launcher, 5 hand grenades.
How much ammo for the rocket-propelled grenade?
Oh.
Or would it just use these
One.
grenades?
No, it's
No,
just it's
it's
its
a
own
rocket
thing. It's
propelled
one.
Okay.
It's 1 use.
Oh, not a-
Yeah, it's a one use.
It would be
It'll
fun.
put a big hole in something.
It would be
If-
fun
if-
to shoot.
If
one
it
of those
works,
one
it'll
time.
blow something up real good.
Yeah.
If
it
it
works.
works.
Yeah.
It's a big if.
Do you have heavy weapons skill by any chance?
Nope.
You know anybody that has heavy weapons skill?
Nope.
I am
you
a
don't know
British.
how to. You have no clue how to
Anthropology
use
professor.
a rocket-propelled grenade.
You're gonna have to
How to
Google
use it?
Oh.
Yeah, you have to
Can
watch
you
it.
just
Yeah,
show
I
If
me?
we,
didn't
if
think
we want to
about that.
retcon a little bit,
Yeah, I didn't
we
think
can
about
retcon a little
that.
bit because yeah.
Can the guy not give you a quick lesson? You know,
Yeah,
just here's the safety.
there's no safe.
There is.
Well, see, you're a step up already.
With is a machine gun heavy,
Yeah, this would
heavy
be-
weapons as well, or is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was gonna be an
Hand
extreme
grenades
expense.
use the athletics skill if you have special training in knowing how to use hand grenades safely,
Mm-hmm.
which special training usually amounts to, that usually amounts to like a good solid
background.
few days at least of practice and training with something to really master it. If you want just the pointers, then you can take your chances. I'll make it up when it happens.
Okay.
We're all going to die. Not by the
Okay,
unlucky
yeah, I'll just get the
universe.
grenades,
By this moron with his grenades.
Because I didn't think about the fact that I didn't actually know how to use a.
How hard can it be?
Very.
I mean,
Use a
No,
rocket
I don't
launcher?
think it's that hard. I mean,
Point and shoot.
Mujahideen,
Come
they
on.
use them all the time. It's just like, all these guys in Africa pick them up and use them.
All the time.
And kill themselves and their friends.
Well, that's true too.
Honey.
Just from like,
Back
you know, hitting
Horrifically
drunk.
frequent.
I have faith in you. I think you can do it.
I still have a 0%, so.
Come on.
A 0%.
Okay, so yeah, I'll do just the
Just the grenade.
grenades.
Okay.
I walk back in the store and was like, hey, can I get a refund on this?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
dude,
back it up a
that's
little
fine.
That's heavy
bit. So
machine,
that's
Not heavy, heavy weapons is 0. I can drive a tractor, maybe.
Yeah.
A bulldozer.
The,
2%, but
yeah. All right. Well, 5 grenades is only going to reduce one of your bonds by 1 point.
Okay.
Those all together, equivalent to an unusual expense you're paying for out of pocket.
Sure, that'll be my Chicago field team, as I'm not going and drinking with them as often when I go back home.
Because you're broke.
Yeah.
Paying for all those grenades.
All right.
I don't think
Assuming you're
Delta
going
Green will
home.
pay him back.
I don't know how that works. Can we submit receipts? Get reimbursed for this stuff?
No.
I'm thinking not.
Hand grenade.
I don't think they're gonna give me a receipt.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
You
well,
ask when you get up to the front, they just look at you like,
can I have an itemized receipt?
I can probably work out
fuck
something
you
for
say.
you with my accounting.
So, alright, well, I will thank them for their business, and
All right.
if I need more, I'll know where to go.
Good luck.
Yeah, good.
They look in the chain going,
All
you're
right.
gonna lose a hand. in 2
So I
hours."
get back in the car, and I've got this big
Bag full.
brown bag, and I set it down, and
What is that? Don't touch it.
grenades.
Oh, he just steals her. I love it. Grenades.
What do you
Come on,
want
let's
for?
go back to the hotel.
I'm not comfortable with grenades.
Then don't use them.
I'm not comfortable with grenades next to my feet. Can we at least put them in the trunk?
Let him roll around back
Put them in the
there.
back seat.
We're all gonna die.
So you all meet up again
Right.
in the afternoon.
We have our warrant.
Yeah. You get your warrant emailed over. You can print it out and
Okay.
take
We
it with
roll
you.
up into the parking lot. I'm like, guys, he bought grenades.
All right, so what are we,
Well, we're-
what's our plan?
That's the question. We're relying on the force of this printed out warrant and our badges to carry the 4 of us in
Yeah.
and go through this.
Well, let's do
There'll
it.
be a lot of BSing.
Mhm.
Let's do it.
All right. I mean,
You can call the local cops for backup if you
Yeah.
trust that they're not completely on the take of the
In this
company that
company
owns
in
this
this company town,
No.
please, they're
No,
on
I
the
don't
take.
think so.
Even if it wasn't a company town, they'd probably be on the take.
So I've got my, my trusty laptop in its case,
Mhm.
but I've also got a briefcase,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna empty the briefcase out and
No.
put the grenades.
No. Why?
Yeah. I mean, just so that they're handy.
We're going through security, but I'm assuming we'll just blow them off because we'll
Yeah.
say,
Don't blow them off.
No, it's a grenade. Because we'll have our own guns.
If
clearly.
anyone questions us, just throw a grenade at them. Politely.
Mhm.
Alright, so let's be clear about our goals going in here. Our goal is to go in, find this gate, somehow operate it,
I guess.
and go through it.
Sure.
It's my goal.
And what you've been told by these entities is that this thing links to Greenland.
Greenland.
Where
That's
we're
what they
supposed to
said. Now, if that's true, like, it could be that was just some weird BS thing and there's nothing here. But if there's a gate there
Then
and it goes to
probably
Greenland, then I'm going
the
to
rest of the
believe
story is
that
true.
the rest of that thing.
Interdimensional creatures are well-known pranksters.
Yes.
That's a life form.
He's doing it.
Be careful. Look, now he's pregnant.
Right.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, so there's the building out back. I'm gonna be looking. I'm still not convinced it's not underground. I'm gonna be looking for.
Well, there's the bunker-like.
Yeah, there's a
structure.
bunker.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's go. Let's go investigate. Let's see what we
Yeah.
can see.
All
We're gonna
right.
roll up in our black SUV,
Excuse me.
park in front of the security station.
Mm-hmm. There's a parking lot, and then there's a larger gate that's for delivery vehicles, clearly.
Right.
Right.
That and then there's the entrance proper that that people go through. So you pull up and park, and there are plainly guards. There are a couple of guards at the inside the gate.
Right.
The gates, the fences, plural. standing just outside the security building who are just watching, and then there's cameras.
Right.
A couple of the cameras kind of go wah,
Right.
to watch you.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm gonna approach the security people and say, Agent Dressner, FBI, I have a warrant here to enter your premises. As part of an ongoing investigation, I'm gonna need to see whoever's in charge here.
William Lassiter.
Lassiter. Mr. Lassiter.
The guards that are on duty kind of stare for a second, and then one of them kind of keys in and says something, and then listens for a second, and then says, "Yes, sir. I understand, sir. Give us just a moment for my supervisor to come out and take a look." And a couple of minutes pass really slowly because you're just sort of standing there, really
Right.
tense, you know.
Staring at each other.
Yeah, and
Uncomfortably aware of
and
the grenades.
the door for the security building opens, and another guard comes out, who's presumably the supervisor, and so he comes out and goes through they open up the inner gate. He goes through that, and then they close the inner gate, and then he comes up to the outer gate and doesn't open it, but says good afternoon. My name is Stein, and can I see what you have there?
Of course. Here, it's my badge. Here's the warrant.
Okay. So he looks it over. Says, I see. Well, if you'll give me a minute, I'm gonna need to call the head of security here and run this by him.
And you're not the head of security?
I apologize for the confusion, sir. I'm the supervisor on site.
Alright, well, as
We need to,
supervisor...
we need to
you'll
hurry
have
this up.
you'll have to admit us now. This is an ongoing FBI investigation, unless you want to be charged with interfering with an investigation.
Obstruction of justice.
Oh, of course. We'll take care of you in just a moment, sir.
Just a moment.
No, you'll need to open this now.
And he says, we'll be right. We'll be right with you, sir. Just we're not stalling, but I have my own regulations I have to follow.
This warrant says that you're going to open this right now.
No, I understand, sir. But the longer we argue about it, the longer it's going to take for me to get.
Well,
on
there's
the
no
phone.
argument. This gate's going to open immediately.
Roll persuade.
17. I have a 7.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the firm but polite professional demeanor.
Oh,
So he
He's not yelling at person.
he thinks it over and says, "Well, very well, sir. I understand."
And you'll need to take us directly to Mr. Lannister if he's available.
Of course, we'll call it there. I'm sure he'll want to speak with you.
If he's not available, do it anyway.
And so they open up the outer gate, and he kind of keys in and takes a few steps back and keys in and talks on his little earpiece, and they open it up enough that you can
Go through.
all four of you step inside, and as you're doing that, then he kind of leads you forward to the door of the security building, and slides a key on the little key thing, the card reader, and says, Mr. Lassiter and Mr. Avery will be right down. Says, in the meantime, if you want to just follow me through, and inside the building, it actually is. I don't know what would you expect to see inside the little security building.
Not much. I mean, it's just a checkpoint for the workers to go through. I'm sure there's a metal detector.
Yeah.
Maybe a desk.
A clock.
It's actually just like a narrow corridor that has what looks like some kind of large cameras on the at a couple of different places along it, and it's about 15 feet long, and then at the other end of it is another door.
Okay. Which is closed?
Yeah.
Alright, well,
Body
say,
scanners in the walls.
go ahead and, yeah, so, well, you'll need to take us to Mr. Laster's office.
Of course. Well, just come this way with me, and so
I'm gonna try to
you've
lead him.
got a lot of human, right?
Yeah.
Like 70 or
60.
something crazy, 60. How about the rest of you?
50.
No,
30.
11.
Okay, so two of you pretend you can't hear me. The two of you, you can tell that this guy, all the security guys, they look tense. Like, they don't look like security guys who are unhappy that the FBI is bossing them around.
Like, that's like they're
They-
ready for a fight.
They look like, more than anything else, they look like soldiers who are in Iraq at a checkpoint trying to decide if the car coming towards them is a car bomb. They look that tense. And and so the supervisor that's sort of leading the way, his hand like never strays far from the pistol at his hip, more than about 6 inches from it. He's not being really overt about it, but you guys are alert and you can kind of tell.
So the setup here is there's the double layer of fences.
Mhm.
So there's a parking lot, there's a gate. You go through that gate, there's another fence.
Mm-hmm.
Does that fence, is the security building inside that fence, or is the door of the security building part of that fence? You know what I mean? It's the front wall. of the
Oh
security
yeah.
building.
That's an interesting question.
If it's freestanding inside the fence, that makes a big difference.
Right.
It's all gonna fuck around it.
Yeah. No, I mean it's built to channel you right.
Right, so the fence comes up to the sides of that building,
Yeah,
and that you
yeah.
have to go through the
Yeah.
building. Okay, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I mean, they're going in with us, so.
Okay.
He
So
is, at least.
yeah. So the group of you, like, give me a sense of your demeanor, your spacing, your body
Well,
language.
clearly the two of us see what's going on with this, so I'm prepared for things to go bad
Uh-huh.
quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just following his lead.
I'm visibly nervous. And
Mhm.
like trying to stay away from him but close to them. So it's like
Yeah, I'm just making it
fidgeting.
by body language and positioning, making it very clear that this guy's going in this hallway in front of me.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, yeah.
He's not trying to avoid that.
Yeah, that's the only thing I don't want. I don't want him leading us into something. That's,
Yeah, okay. So you go in,
Mhm.
right? He's a few feet in front of you.
Mhm.
You're a few feet in front of whoever's next. Who's next?
Me. I
In
was
front
gonna-
of,
I
okay,
couldn't
you're a few
picture
feet in
myself.
front of
Like, how wide is
Penelope.
this hallway?
6 feet.
It's like walking through that open,
Mhm.
Yeah.
long, narrow.
I'll go next, but I
And-
keep looking over my shoulder and like
So, as the supervisor, let's say his name was Stein.
So,
He gets to the end of the thing. So when he gets to the end of the corridor, you're a few feet behind him.
but I'm
you're a
watching
few
for him
feet
to make
behind.
a move.
Yeah, sure. And
Yeah,
You're
I've got
in
my
there,
eyes
so-
on the other.
at that point, and he kind of, he sort of pauses and gets his key out to do, and sort of fiddles with his key, whatever key card for a second. So you're all in the corridor at this point, unless you're not. You were going last, right?
yeah,
So,
like
I mean, if you're deliberately stopping, and waiting suspiciously outside the corridor before you go in, then tell me now. Otherwise, I'm assuming you're just
I'm
going in with everybody.
I'm uncomfortable because
Yeah, I'm going to position myself. I'm going to move up into his personal space because he's not getting out of here and leaving us in here.
Yeah. Sure. Well, so as you do that, he kind of turns and, is clearly trying to be situationally aware
Right,
of
of course.
exactly
And he
what
should be aware.
what your movements are.
Because I'm getting within
Yeah.
like, a foot and a half of him
Yeah. And
and watching what he's doing with the key card.
and he kind of looks at you as you come up at him, and he's he's like looking you up and down really alertly.
I haven't drawn my weapon.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just stepping up into his space.
And then there's this huge flash.
Oh shit.
Not a blowing up flash, but like
Grenade
the
flash.
mother. No, not a grenade flash,
Okay.
but like the mother of all.
Is it similar to
all-
the flash that he saw on the screen at all? In the,
No.
Just
Okay,
a giant
okay.
camera flash.
This is like a camera flash
Okay.
times about 100.
Okay.
Oh,
And
wow. Okay.
and there's this loud sort of ka-thunk kind of a noise and from somewhere in the walls and when that happens, and you can all you can tell like an after image of it, your shadows were like cast up against the wall for that
Jeez.
instant Hiroshima.
Mm-hmm.
And
I scream. Throw my hands up.
okay. Anybody else screaming, throwing your hands up?
No, but I'm launching forward, tackling this guy out the door if it's open. If
It's not open.
Then I'm slamming him against the door.
Okay. So you slam him against the door, and
I think I probably dropped to the ground.
okay. So you slam him up against the door, and he immediately his hand drops down,
Goes for
or
something.
I don't know. Roll alertness. No. Yeah, his hand drops down
That's all.
to his belt for something.
Right.
So in the instant in which you have to decide how you're going to respond to the hand dropping, and you don't know what he's reaching for.
I'm gonna try to grab that arm and wrap it up behind his back.
Okay.
In my blind way. I'm sure.
Yeah, you're kind of dazzled. All right.
I'm like this close to him. So
Sure. Yeah. You were right up on him. Okay. So roll.
That'd be a pin, right?
Yeah. Make it an unarmed roll.
Ooh. There's no way to get a bonus, is there? I missed by 2.
In this case, I really don't think
No,
so.
well, no.
I mean, he was
my
really
preparedness is also offset by
Being blind.
being blind. I'm sure.
And he was, like I said,
He
he
was prepared
was
as well.
very much alert to anything you were going to be doing that was hostile.
You're pretty ballsy to fuck with an FBI investigation.
Apparently. So what he's going to do is kind of push you off of him, in that moment, and whip out a collapsible baton and to deploy it.
Oh.
And that's all he's going to do because it takes a second to do that.
Right.
And he's his eyes are really wide and about to go down fighting kind of a thing.
Right.
And then there's this little bzzz, kind of innocuous buzzing, and green light, up above the door lights up, and he kind of looks around and sort of, takes a step. Well, he doesn't really take a step back because you're right up against the door, but he kind of he lowers the thing and says, "Sorry to startle you like that."
What the
At
fuck
this
was
point,
that?
my weapon comes out. I'm like, yeah,
No need for that.
drop the baton.
He lets it drop.
Right.
Says, "No need for that. This was I forgot to tell you of our automated scanner."
Clear.
Automated scanner?
Yeah.
What kind of automated scanner is this?
It's we take security very, very seriously at this facility.
All right.
I'm calling shenanigans
Open-
on that.
Yeah,
door.
he's sort of taking. He's kind of seems to be distinctly taking kind of deep, calming breaths, to keep his
Just the
fight or flight
adrenaline.
thing under control.
Yes.
And
It's okay. None of them turned into reptilians.
and he's keeping his hands kind of up, but he reaches up and listens at his earpiece and says and kind of looks over at you and says, "Sir, we're going to need you to leave the briefcase full of hand grenades outside."
I mean, y'all knew it was there. What do you think?
No, yeah, you're not dictating what goes on here.
Pretty sure you don't get to make the
Yeah.
rules.
So, get this door open immediately.
He kind of nods and gets his card out and doesn't have trouble with it this time because he was obviously stalling earlier.
Oh yeah, clearly.
And swipes it, and the door opens, and and he holds it open so you can all come
What
out.
cuffs or zip ties or something?
Sure, you have handcuffs.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep the gun on him and cuff him when we get outside. You wait here.
Hold a weapon on him if you have it.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I'll take that headset. Thanks.
All right. So the other guards that were on duty, there were a couple of other guards on the other side, and there are others out now, that are kind of in an arc basically around the entrance, and so he kind of he nods and says, "Understand, sir. Am I under arrest?"
What's the standard thing for this? No, I have to say no, right?
Probably not. I mean, he didn't attack you.
No, I
attack
agree.
You,
Yeah.
and he can make a pretty.
I'm sure.
You know that these guys are really lawyered up, so
Oh, yeah.
odds are, in their position, you'd expect they would push for self-defense, and
Not at
the
this
FBI
moment.
guy freaked out for no real reason except somebody took his picture, and attacked me.
Yeah, no.
So.
No, not under arrest, but
Don't go anywhere.
exactly.
Don't give us a reason.
Yes, sir. Very, very good, sir. And so like the next supervisor down among the crowd that was out there waiting to see what was going to happen. And of course, he's now doing this, and he's the one communicating.
Well, yeah, he knows too.
So they all kind of look you over and Supervisor Junior steps forward and says, in the meantime, I'll take over for Captain Stein. I'm Lieutenant Dewson, and our CEO is on his way out right now, as well as our head of security.
Well, there's no on their way out. We're going into the facility right now, and you can lead us. I'll holster my pistol.
And
And
also,
I'm not waiting. I'm walking ahead.
All right.
Yeah.
if there are any more
Okay.
surprises,
Yeah. There's none of
before-
this bullshit way to keep us
Yeah.
outside.
So as you're on the other side of the security building now, like the security building, it's not tiny.
Right.
I mean, it's not sprawling, but clearly it's more than just the corridor, right? So what's on the other sides of it were like obviously there's doors coming out on this side, that have that have on one side of it, there's desks and little office, probably on both sides. There's little offices and desks and cubicles and things like that, and and you've got probably about a dozen security guys out with you right now, and so within that, so the compound proper is. It's a couple of acres. Some of it's kind of grassy, but there's very well laid down
Sidewalks.
asphalt, like
paths.
roads, paths and roads leading in. So the road that comes in from outside, kind of goes around to the big buildings, to the backs of the big buildings, and to the main locations. Right.
So most people, you said, when we see them go into work, go into building B.
Right.
So building A is just as big, though.
Yeah.
But most people don't go there.
From what
that's
from
what we've
the
been watching.
limited
A little bit of
surveillance,
observation we
you've
did,
been able to do, which is not much.
No, yeah.
So where are you headed?
I'm going to walk towards building A.
Okay.
That's the main
Well, so
it's the one that the workers don't
fewer
go
people
through.
go to.
bunker.
Mm-hmm.
No, there's also a separate bunker that's behind the two main buildings.
Yeah.
Not visible from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep, my peripheral vision watching these guys for any thing that they're gonna pull. But yeah, I'm not waiting for them. I'm gonna just start walking it.
Okay.
Because they can't just stop us with a warrant.
Sure.
We're the FBI.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. So building A, yeah. There's basically one clear entrance to it, right? And the building, it has, like, it doesn't have windows on the outside except, probably like along the sort of top, there's these sort of real narrow windows that are basically just there to allow ambient light to kind of come in, so it's not as tomb-like.
Right.
Anyway, so the door. So you get up to the door, and the door has like a
Key card.
thing on it. Yeah, a key card thing on it. And so you all get up to there. And,
Well, is this guy with us or not?
yeah, they're following behind you.
All right. Well then.
Get this open.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lieutenant Dewson comes up, and he he's sort of listening at his thing for a second, and
Should have taken the key card off the guy.
Yeah, I
you
thought about that too, but we'll see.
and he slides the card thing, and the door, the light, the little green light goes on, and it clicks, so you can open it up, and inside, it's the initial, like, you go through the initial door, and it's going to be like a little corridor. or it's probably going to be like a waiting sort of a whatever.
Atrium kind of thing.
Yeah, and then there's a corridor that goes down, and there's what looks like some offices. There's a secretary here on the out, in the entry room, and there's a corridor with some offices, and then another, like, to the other side. There's the door that says production, probably is their
Really?
generic euphemism or whatever for the main part of the
The
right.
I'll turn to this Dewson and just
Dewson.
I almost said doofus.
Yeah.
Sorry, Deuce. And say, are we gonna need that key card in here?
Oh yes, sir.
Then you need to come along with us.
Yes, sir.
All right. So, is it literally just corporate in here? Corporate office-y kind of? Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Let's go over toward the production.
Anything
door.
that's
And there's the secretary is kind of looking up and kind of wide-eyed and
Mhm.
watchful. Roll. Who's paying close enough attention to her to roll, make a human roll?
I can. I'm keeping an eye on everybody.
Okay, give it a shot.
I took your dice.
Stop.
Remember, if I have you make a skill roll and it fails,
Yourself
to put a notch on put a check down. Or if you're trying to use a skill and it doesn't require a roll and you're not good enough at it, get a check as well. Which actually, come to think of it, would apply for you guys with human from before, because remember there was a thing and you didn't get the benefit of it. So you can each put a little check mark on human if you don't have one already.
Okay, I passed. I got a 33.
Okay, so. And in fact, a 33 is a success, and it's matching numbers, so it's a critical success.
Critical
which means it's an awesome
success.
success. So,
Nice.
okay, so you can tell the secretary. So yeah, she's sort of watchful and she's wide-eyed, and as you would expect, secretary at this whatever
Some
Apple plant, and
legitimate
there's
business.
FBI, coming in, and everybody's really tense. And it's more than that. Like, she's kind of watchful, like waiting to see how hard the hammer's gonna hit her on the head when it drops, kind of watchful.
So it makes me think of 3 days.
I'm gonna walk over there.
Yeah, she's right.
Yeah. Good day.
Yes, ma'am. Can I help you? She remembers to get back into corporate secretary mode.
Yeah. So what is your job here?
I'm secretary for the plant and for Mr.
I
Lassiter.
couldn't. I'm gonna interrupt her before she finishes. I couldn't help but notice that you seem a little nervous. What's going on?
Oh, it's nothing, ma'am. I'm
it
sorry
seems like
to.
it's something.
Well, no, I'm sorry to have just.
How long have you worked here?
I was 7 years.
Doing this position the whole time?
Yes, ma'am.
So what's in this building then?
This is our production facility, which is she's the more she's kind of talking, the more she's calming down, you know. And but she says that production is our shorthand. It's more research and development. We do of microchips, communications technology. We have clients. We have clients around the world. Most of our work is our clients.
Who do you report to?
And I report to Mr. Lassiter most directly, and of course, if there are HR issues, then I'll report to our head of HR. Would you like me to give you her name now?
What is her name?
Miss. You don't have names up on your wall. It's absent. What'd you say?
Kendall.
Yeah, it's Mrs. Kendall.
That's your immediate supervisor?
She's head of HR.
Alright, so while all that's going on,
Yeah.
I've got the security guard over there,
Mm-hmm.
and I walk up to the production door.
Yeah.
Is it key carded?
Yeah, and there's like a little sign, in fact, next to the key card, or next to the the swiper box, a little sign that says it says 1 beep, 1 entry.
I'm gonna look around at the expression. Are all of them looking in the same direction, like what's going on, or is anybody looking off in any other area, or are the people in this room strictly focused on what we're doing there?
They're focused on you. I mean, in the room, it's at this point it's just the secretary and the guard that have come in. So there's probably one guard for each of you that have come into the building with you, and then and they're focused on you. Like the guards are sort of watching down the hall toward where the offices are. Their kind of attention is divided between that and the 4 of you, and they're also kind of distracted.
And no one's coming out of those offices?
Actually, somebody is. Yeah, a couple of men, like 60-something-year-old men in suits. One of them who's wearing it better than the other one come out, and the one that's in the lead. Well, actually, you guys did a little bit of research, so you'd have seen a picture of William Lassiter. He's in his 60s. Hair's already completely white. He has kind of a he has a really friendly smile, and so he he's kind of blue eyes and a wrinkly face, and he comes forward and comes out of the hallway, and as he's coming out, are you gangbusters into the R&D floor, or are you pausing there, or what's
No,
your
if I
approach?
notice that he's coming out, I'll stop.
Okay. So he comes out and out into the little waiting area and says, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is William Lassiter. I'm CEO of Hunt Electronics, and I wish you would have called ahead. We could have made sure to have a more cordial welcome with a lot less confusion.
All right, I'll step up towards him. I'm not going to shake his hand or anything. I'm just going to present my badge to him and say, I'm the agent in charge here, Agent
Yes,
Dressner,
sir.
and here's our warrant to search your premises. We're going to proceed with that now. So,
We
Of
if
expect
you'd like
course.
to accompany us, you're welcome to.
we expect your cooperation.
Of course, this is Mr. Avery, our head of security, and Avery's the one who sort of steps forward to give your
Yeah, close
ID
look.
the stink eye, and
Stink away, bud.
clearly memorizing every
Go for
syllable of it, and
I've got a cover.
and Avery is shorter and he's kind of skinny, but he I don't know, he's got this kind of Army Ranger kind of thing that you can tell he's probably formidable. And okay, so Lassiter, he kind of nods and says, I understand. No, what's this in connection to? I may be able to make everything a lot smoother here.
Yeah, if we need any assistance, we'll certainly request it. But for the moment, we're just here to examine your facilities. With regard to an ongoing investigation.
Well, yes, of course.
This is a homeland security matter.
Is that right? Well, but don't let me impede you. I'll come along, and I'll come along with you, and so I can answer any questions you may have as they come up. And so he kind of gestures over at the door and tells Lieutenant Stein to open the door to the R&D floor, and Stein does, and so inside it's when you get in there, the R&D floor takes up the bulk of the building here, and it's not super crowded. I mean, there's probably several dozen, maybe 50 or 60 people, at workstations.
But it's a bigger
throughout.
space than that?
Like at full capacity, it could probably fit 2 or 3 times that many working nonstop. And they're, so the people that are in there, and, there's sort of, some of them are in these, like full white coverall kind of smocks for sort of detail-y work in these little cubicles, and some of them are aren't aren't kitted out quite that much.
But it's clearly not a production facility. Like there's no assembly lines or
Exactly. So I mean, there's microchip stuff all over the place. Right. There's all kinds of workstations, and some of them are big and elaborate, and some of them are small, and there's all kinds of there's lots of super high tech stuff. So I mean, you've got. Anybody got a lot of computer science or any craft skills that would apply?
Yeah, 50 in computer science.
So you guys know your way around computers. Anybody have like microelectronics or any of the craft skills that are really technical?
No.
So yeah, I mean it's plainly some kind of advanced.
But not a mass production factory.
Yeah, certainly not a mass production floor. Like this, you would assume that this is, as they said, is kind of R&D for developing, like we said, prototypes and things to whatever ship out elsewhere for production overseas. And in fact, Lassiter says exactly that.
That's
the work we do here, we ship overseas, sometimes in some bulk, but not for mass retail purposes as much as supplying our contractors
We should take
abroad.
some samples.
Well,
I am keeping an eye open for ACLO, by the way, because we know that they've incorporated that into electronics before, or into their devices anyway. So
at the Hunt Museum, sure. Okay. Yeah, you don't see anything like that at this point, but remind me if I don't. Later.
I'm going to ask Lassiter, do you work with any heavy metals in this?
Well, we work with gold and platinum, some silver, in some some parts, and he
it goes on.
rattles off.
Do you have a secure storage area for
purposes
those
of using
materials?
gold and platinum for this kind of thing.
I'm not interested.
He says, well, yes, we have a storage bunker that's outside this building, which is where we store those supplies like that when they're not
We'll need to see
in
that.
use. Well, sure.
Okay.
And
So I'm looking around in here and imagining the building shape. Does this fill the rest of the building that we would think? And just a rough estimate, obviously.
yeah, you think so?
So it's probably what's actually here.
Yeah.
Okay.
and there's no obvious elevators down or taped off corners that say secret elevator here or whatever.
No taped off.
Is it a single-story building?
That's what I was going to ask. Could I tell if there was basement?
It's you can't tell. It's I mean it's a 2-story building, but you can see all the way to the.
Right. So this area is open.
Right.
The offices are actually 2 stories.
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell him we'll need to see the bunker.
Of course. So from where you are here, there's like connected to the main production floor. There's like break rooms and changing rooms and closets and bathrooms and lots of other little things kind of connected to it. Yeah, exactly. So he says the bunker. Well, sure. It's just out here. If you'll follow us, and he escorts you to a sort of a back door that looks like it's very rarely used, and in fact it's probably big enough because that's where they would bring in like the forklifts and stuff. So so they key that, and it the little sliding thing slides open, and and so behind this building there's like the storage bunker, which is kind of centrally located between the two big buildings, and then there's the transformer farm, kind of in the back of everything. And then kind of over there on the far side, is where the garage is for all the vehicles. Right.
So, yeah, you use a lot of electricity here?
Oliver. No, go.
Oh
go
yeah. It's I know what you're thinking, and it certainly looks like overkill, but in our case, we have to do work that's so delicate that we just can't afford interruptions, and so we built we decided to make the investment a long time ago to build. To set it up so that it would give us plenty of capacity and plenty of redundancy in case there's a surge somewhere.
I'm gonna turn to him out
Hey buddy.
of line of sight of them, and I want him to go and examine the transformer farm and see where it's feeding into, where the cables go
So-
up. If it's visible, if it's not visible because it's underground, then we get it. Then we have to worry about that.
Yeah.
It's got to carry the power somewhere, right?
Sure. Yeah. I expect those would be underground.
Okay.
I don't think this is the kind of place where they'd have all those wires.
Right. Yeah.
Flopping all over the place.
But can you?
Yeah. In fact, I'm pretty sure.
I wonder if there's any way to tell where it's going.
Dig.
It's a shame we
Call
don't have
411 before you dig.
If they're in there, some sort of
Some kind of tool that would detect the surges
Like
of
a
energy.
micrometer or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, something like that. One of those on you?
I got a stud finder.
That's magnetic. That's not gonna work.
But that's
don't turn the volume
a
up.
phone app, and it's
I hold it in front of me and it's always going off.
All right. So we proceed to the bunker.
Yeah, the bunker is this heavy, small compared to the other ones building. No windows, big, extremely dirty steel door, and
So it looks like really sturdily built and like very more so than the rest of the structures that.
yeah.
Okay.
Like he was talking about that rocket propelled grenade launcher he thought about buying, and you're not positive that would knock the hole in this thing.
Right. Yeah.
By the way, when he was giving that whole spiel about redundancy and everything, I wanted to be paying close attention to that to see if he believed his own bullshit.
Sure.
Would that be a human or?
Yeah, that's going to be human
Versus
opposing his persuade.
Yeah.
So you want to roll successfully and higher than him.
Okay. Well, I rolled 6, so successful,
All right.
but not higher than him.
Not higher than him. So, he doesn't seem to be full of it. I mean, it's really hard to tell.
He's
Yeah,
internalized
exactly.
pretty
'Cause
well.
I mean, you guys are convinced they're concealing something important here, so
Yeah.
He's saying
He's
they're not
practiced at
concealing
concealing.
something important here, so
Yeah.
so you can come to your own conclusions.
So are there walls and things? I mean, what are?
Well, I haven't opened the door for a
Oh,
second.
okay.
Oh, the bunker,
We
right.
definitely
So-
don't put spiders
so,
in our cereal.
So Avery steps up to the bunker and slides his key card and then punches in this long elaborate code, and and the door, the like this sort of really thick steel door kind of and kind of slides. I don't know, probably slides to the right or something
wall.
like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you
Out of the
keeping
way.
an eye on them, making sure, like, see if people are getting more nervous with this?
Oh yeah. No, especially these two, Lassiter and Avery.
Sure. Give me another human roll. This is still human. It's not really alertness.
No.
Okay. So
I failed.
yeah, I mean So take that check. I mean, certainly less alert
Yeah.
and nervous than they were a few
Right.
minutes ago.
They're clearly put out by us being here, but beyond that.
Right.
nothing.
So so inside the bunker, I mean the space inside looks. I mean it's sort of, it feels like it's kind of small because of course the walls are so thick, but inside there's like pallets and stacked up pallets of crates, and some of them are labeled in Chinese and Japanese, and
How high does the?
Any idea?
probably about 10 feet all total,
Oh,
maybe
okay.
maybe a little higher than that. And so it kind of it looks like kind of a big closet basically, so you step in, I mean assuming you step in, and there's pallets and crates and the walls behind them, and
Right. But they obviously can move stuff in and out of here, so they just bring a forklift or whatever in through the door and do it. Is there one in here? By any chance or no?
forklift.
Parked outside or something?
No.
They would probably have left it
Yeah.
in the
It's
production.
probably
The production
They
area.
would bring that out when they need it because they don't have this place open and closing all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Is there? I mean, are there pathways to like walk through to kind of see what's there?
Yeah,
Just like see where
I mean,
path,
again, it's not a warehouse,
Right.
right? It's
It's
just,
small.
yeah. But
Like it's
I mean, you can
like
certainly
the size of this room or a little
probably,
bigger. Or,
yeah, maybe a little bigger, but
Oh.
Yeah.
20 by 20 maybe,
Okay.
Yeah.
and
And what's in these crates?
you looking like cracking one open or just asking?
I think we
I'm
look
I'm
at
just
one.
Yeah, yeah.
asking.
We'll ask,
now.
but we're gonna open
Yeah.
one.
Well, he
We'll need to see inside these.
So he nods, and Avery kind of shakes his head, looking irritated, and
Okay.
and calls for somebody to come out to take care of that, and Lassiter sort of says, well, this one is whatever. Super fancy prototype
Iridium.
microchip A, and this one's super fancy prototype microchip B, and and the small one, the small ones here are these are your heavy metals we were talking about, but of course that's why we keep them in here, and
Sure.
where they're hard to get at.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Well, no, I was gonna. Does it look like, is the floor smooth? Will it look like there might be something underneath here?
How aggressively are you?
I am
Inspecting
convinced
Let's
that
let's spread
what
out
we're
in the
looking
building.
for is
All four. We can
underground.
spread out and start looking at stuff.
Yeah. I want to
Okay.
look inside a crate that's got
Allegedly microchips.
not
The
microchips
metal?
but
Oh,
heavy
metal?
metals.
The metal.
See if they're the
Similar.
rough cast
Yeah, that's
sort
what
of
I wanted
thing.
to check
Mhm.
too.
All right. So,
Let's see if there's one they're already planning.
which one of you wants to make the search roll?
I have 51.
80.
You're
Oh, well, there we
searcher.
go.
All right. Dr. Hawtrey.
Very observant.
Anthropology skills come to the
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, 82.
Oh, no!
I've missed so many refills.
Oh, that's awful.
Give yourself a
floor.
check.
Take your check.
Yeah, take your check.
Consolation prize.
Can I try?
No.
I mean, no? Oh.
Okay. So, in the meantime,
It's awful.
who wants to make the human roll?
No, not me. I will let them.
I will try to
I've already
make
got my
these
check mark. I don't need to make it.
No, I have no clue.
Whoa.
Okay. So,
Oh, we're sucking in this.
you know, so he's doing his best to kind of tell you what's inside the things, and everybody's sort of watching and watchful,
I'm
and
telling my security guard Shadow to open this crate up.
and he says, oh, we have somebody coming with the right keys to take care of that for you.
Oh, it's not. I don't know why I was imagining like
I
wooden
know, like
crates
wooden
full
crates.
of.
Yeah, no, they're gonna be
High
like,
tech,
yeah, exactly. So after a couple of minutes, somebody else one of the technician chief of something or other comes in and kind of nods hello to everybody, and you point him and he opens
Everything
crates
you
up,
wanna see?
and
So the metals, are they?
fancy
What
microchip
form are they in?
and it looks just like what they found
Described.
on Emory, at the airport. These
So they're
kind
like
of
hand cast,
lumpy,
kind of
kind of
badly done.
badly cast, right? Yeah.
And I'll ask Lester who supplies them with their metals.
Oh, we have a pretty good arrangement with a couple of South American mines.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds
And
like
obviously you'll have some records of that.
Oh well, of course, yes,
We'll need to see those.
yes, certainly.
What kind of
I think we
forensics
should
are
go
you?
through
Like,
everything
you're
out of this
crime-
room.
But I
There's
just
a
get-
full room. We should
You're
go
not a
to
computer
move all this stuff out
No, I'm
of this room. And look
I'm
at
made
the
for
room
looking
without
at
the
dead
stuff in it.
bodies more than I am for.
Computer stuff. Okay.
I have a decent computer science.
It's a room this size.
I have a 50.
Have them move everything out of it. Because why? I mean, this room is like obviously different than, with the thick
Yeah,
walls.
Avery says, well, ma'am, we can do that, but you realize that's going to take an awful lot of time and work here. I mean, you can see what's in here.
If they open a crate with the microchips,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
They
and
look,
if we've gone
they
through
just
it,
look
it's
like
microchips. It's not just microchips with gold in the middle of it.
Right.
Microchips everywhere.
Super secret prototype microchip. It's ready.
Yeah.
No,
So,
It's an
so
everlasting
with Avery doing the talking,
Oh no!
you get a sense. I don't know. He more than just, man, that would be a pain in the ass.
It's like, we're not going to do that.
He really is not interested in pulling everything out of here, and you guys, like, the longer you spend in here, the less happy he gets.
Okay. Yeah, given that we can pick up on that, then clearly it's something we want to do.
Yes, exactly.
I want to make this asshole as uncomfortable as humanly possible.
Yeah, we'll need to have this all cleared out.
Immediately.
He kind of takes a breath and,
I can operate a forklift with 10%.
Drive it into.
he nods to the
Shush.
head of whatever technology and CTO, I guess, is probably who they have in here doing all this, and the other, and the guards, and so.
How nervous does he seem at this point? Is he
Nervous?
Who are we talking about?
Avery?
Avery? Yeah.
Is
He doesn't seem nervous. He just seems really kind of tense and
Perturbed?
displeased. Yeah, perturbed. That's a great word for it. Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't seem nervous like I'm about to be in so much trouble
Put
as.
out, like,
As like
I'm
I
gonna
was
kill
I
these
was
people.
30 minutes
There's-
from going home, and then you.
Well, it's more than that. Like whatever's going on here, it's more than that. But I mean, everyone's demeanor here
It's tense.
is off in a way. I mean, not like they're haunted by space aliens, but
Off like
whatever's going on
They're
behind the
hiding
scenes
something.
here, you don't know what it is, but there's something going on that's making them act differently than you would expect people to be acting in their situation.
right.
They're putting up a good front, but you're all fairly
What sound is
observant.
Right. Alright, I'm gonna leave
Half
you
of you
three
are.
to supervise this, and I want to go look at their computer records.
I'll go with you for.
Alright.
I've got a 50 in computer science, which I don't know what you have, but
40, but I
Do
the
we
account is what I
have, do
want
we
to look at.
have walkie-talkies to communicate with each other?
we should.
Push to talk.
You can have your own little headset
Yeah, exactly.
earbud thingies
That's
if you want.
fine, yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
That's
do
On
efficient.
proprietary government frequencies.
Okay. All right, you go do that. We're gonna oversee some hauling out of shit.
Yeah.
All right.
Rubbish.
All right.
Penelope.
Well, so Lassiter and Avery, escort the two of you, Dressner and
Mhm.
I keep forgetting your brother's last
Harley.
name.
Woodhouse.
Woodhouse, yes. Back to the
Do you do
thing, like
heroin?
the office building, and
I'll never tell.
not yet. She's getting to the next breaking point though. With a couple of the guards and some of the other couple of the other guards stay out there with some of the workers that are coming out, and the workers that are coming out are actually coming out of like building B. Yeah.
Do you look nervous?
No, but they too look really alert. Like they look like
Strangely wired.
they're like there's like they're expecting shit to go down in a big
Right.
way here. Maybe not like we're about to all die kind of a thing, but
But
again,
bad things are happening.
there's just
Maybe
something you
The
don't
other the other
is
shoe's
under-
about to drop.
Yeah, and you just can't put your finger on it on exactly what it is. But it's,
Clearly, they're
that's what it's
hiding
like.
something.
Oh yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, they. Everyone who's here knows that something's going on that
Yeah.
could jeopardize
Some.
everything if it was fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's,
Exactly. So
Well, I want to see their accounts, shipping invoices, all that stuff.
yeah.
Receivables, all that.
Yeah. So Lassiter, brings you into in fact, he brings you into his office. It's like one of the upstairs offices, and the upstairs offices are like his office and Avery's office, and a couple of other chief men and women that. So there's like probably 4 offices that take up all the upstairs space. Yeah, and it's very it's well appointed, it's luxurious, it's not like ostentatious, but
But nice.
at the same time he's he has like in his office he has a bookcase that has some really interesting. You'd both find them. It's you two.
Yeah.
So what's your occult skill like?
my occult skill, I think it's pretty high.
Unnatural or
60.
Yeah, and unnatural as well.
Maybe
I know.
10.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, there's like he has like a display case with some really, really strange looking like archaeological artifacts,
I'll make a note
and
to
a
bring
couple
her
of
in.
old
Me?
ancient looking books that look like they're probably really valuable, and in weird languages that you probably recognize, but
Are they like weird, like obscure, or weird, like occult?
Target. Obscure.
both.
Both.
Anarchy.
So, but yeah, he turns on his computer and.
I'll make out that we're doing them a favor by not removing all their computers, but I just want to take a quick look at.
Oh, yeah, I understand. I understand that, and I hope you, I hope you can see we're doing everything we can to cooperate.
We appreciate it.
And again, I mean, I'm not really sure what you're looking for, but neither one of us is an idiot. I would presume this has something to do with Mr. Emery being picked up at the airport, which I'll be honest wouldn't surprise me or Mr. Avery here. And Avery kind of shakes his head and says we've suspected that he was stealing from the company for a time. We were trying to starting the process of working with the police to figure out exactly what the extent of it was.
I'd say it was substantial.
Well, this many trips to Switzerland.
Yeah.
In any case, I want to look through and track that stuff, and just sort of see if they have actual records of these shipments and how often they happen, things like that, what the declared values are, who they're going to, things like that. If it's all in the same place.
Yeah. So he fires the computer up and logs in, and and then so he can kind of walk you through the software that tracks all that stuff.
Is it their own stuff?
Probably. That seems like a kind of pain in the ass thing
they would do.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Yeah. And,
all right, but I'm sure there's patterns.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got to do
following money is following money.
Exactly.
Right. So, and you've got some computer skills, computer science skill, which means you know your way around programming, and you've got plenty of accounting skill. So,
are there any, like, I mean, it's not going to be as obvious as like a folder on his desktop saying definitely not conspiracies, but is there anything just weird on there? Just like, what is that?
Very
You know?
straightforward.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly what I'm looking for is if I can pick up any patterns in the accounting stuff that look weird, which is what I do.
right,
So that's my main shtick. So.
right.
Alright. So while he's doing that, I'm going to browse the books and see if there's anything significant.
Oh, in that cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thumbing through
Arthur Hunt's biography.
I mean,
The
again,
alien in me.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
Oh,
it's
listen.
probably not going to be anything, blatant, but if there's anything over there.
Suggestive.
Yeah.
A folder marked plans for world domination.
So yeah, his the books that he's got on his in his case here, and it's like this locked case that's that's like it looks like it's probably air controlled, so that it's to preserve the things that are inside it. But there's one that's called the Turner Papers that's on the binding, so it's obviously like a collection of older manuscripts that have been bound together at some point recently, but recently being like
Within the last
150 years
right.
ago, right? Instead of the 200 years or whatever that the thing is. There's one that's in Russian. You know Russian?
I know Finnish, which
Nope.
I need to
Nope.
get up there and look at that.
Nope.
I know Russian.
There's one that's in Latin.
nope. I would recognize that it is Latin just because I'm
Yeah.
a librarian, but I don't read it.
There's one
Are
that's
you
in,
Catholic?
and there's one that's in.
Of a certain age, too young to be in that.
Spanish. English, preferably. Yeah, you've been studying. Was it Janet that studied the shit out of?
No,
Oh,
he-
you.
he
Yeah.
took her stuff.
Yeah, I took
There's
it.
one that's kind of really scorched looking. That's in Aztec.
Really?
Okay.
I know Aztec.
Pentagram?
No, you don't.
No one.
Yeah. So in the bunker, Why don't you go ahead and make your accounting roll?
Accounting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you're looking through, and
I imagine this doesn't look like a normal business accounting, just because they're not really doing anything, are they?
right. Well, okay. So things you can tell. The sort of big picture is that they sell, their designs to and the rights, licenses to use stuff they design to their companies X, Y, and Z, and when they make the arrangement, then they contract with company A, B, and C, generally, in Thailand or China or somewhere, to do the manufacturing and to ship it over to company A, B, and C. Companies, or XYZ. So the manufacturers are all inevitably, in China, or else
Somewhere.
pretty much China. And then the companies that they're providing the services to are. The thing that stands out there is they're mostly in Asia as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
so
was
they're not
expecting
selling
European stuff.
They're not selling to Americans. They're not selling to Europeans either.
Right.
And in fact they're selling to companies that with your sort of financial background, it's companies that it would be a real pain in the ass to get any information out of.
Sure.
The companies that they're working with overseas.
So if they had planned to make it hard to figure out what they were doing,
Yeah.
they would have done this.
Yeah. And so what you can come away from that is names of some of the companies that they're working with that you could follow up on later, which are all super generic, like tech company out of the Orient kind of names. But none of them are companies that you've heard of.
Happy Chip.
Which by itself is a little weird because you've got a lot of computer background too, and most of the players.
I've done other
but-
investigations of sketchy
Yeah.
international shipping stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay, so this is maybe it's just a lot of it's faked, and nothing that explains all these shipments to there's multiple shipments to Switzerland, right? That we know of.
Yeah, it's pretty regular, and Lassiter will tell you that the Switzerland thing is they. That they have some of their clients prefer to use a go-between.
Right. So it's a
go-between in Switzerland taking possession. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all I've got.
So with back in the bunker.
But before we leave, by the way,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm going to call.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna sort of go back
and forth
in
first.
parallel.
Mhm.
Right. So in the bunker, meanwhile.
Meanwhile, back in the bunker.
Back in the bunker. So some of the workers come out of building B, and you can kind of see in the doorway when they're coming out that you get the sense that building B is probably it looks like it's probably not a design whatever industrial, but probably more like residential and You kind of get the sense instinctively that that's where the cafeteria is. That's where the workout rooms are. That's where the dorms are for when they have people staying full time, because apparently they have people with crazy schedules, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the Lieutenant Dewson is in charge again, so he's looking to the two of you for direction. What do you want pulled out?
Everything.
Yeah, just pull it out.
All right.
It's not that big a space.
Yeah,
it's not as big a deal as they're making it out to be.
No, it's really not. So they so they start doing that. And
where are the guys, the main guys? Who are the main guys?
With us.
Lassiter
and Ivey.
Lassiter and Ivey
Okay,
left.
so we're
Right.
here.
So
okay.
where you outside with the bunker, it's the two of
Okay.
you, Hawtrey and Fulquist, and probably
I'm just surprised that they're so nervous that one of them didn't stay here, but.
Well, maybe they're not nervous because of us. Maybe
There's
they're
like
nervous because
Du-
that's just their ongoing
yeah,
state.
Deucin and two other security guys, and 3 or 4 workers, like the tech CTO and some of the lower level
Right.
workers who are technicians.
I mean, if I was working with something that could potentially unwind the entire fabric of the universe, I would be generally nervous all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That would just be.
So they start pulling everything out, and and eventually what you have is a sort of a 20-foot square chamber that with marks on the floor where these big pallets have been sitting for ages.
Were the other marks on the floor that stand out? But
No, like in the back of the very back of the thing on against one of the walls is a keypad looking thing, but as you approach it, it's like a really fancy thermostat. Basically, is what it looks like.
really fancy thermostat.
What is this?
That's the thermostat, sir.
Okay, I'm gonna go up
It's very fancy.
and like move it down, see if it comes on at the appropriate.
It doesn't have one of those. It's fancy.
It's
digital.
fancy.
Yeah.
You're gonna poke at it in any case. It's
Yeah, I'm gonna poke at it.
Okay.
That's fine.
Nothing. I'm gonna hit some buttons.
You can eventually figure out how to tell it to make it cooler or raise or lower the humidity.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna but I'm just gonna go around really looking at this floor.
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing, huh?
I mean, there's some oil stains, that they try to clean up, but it's oil, so it always stays for a while.
Is it oil or blood?
Oily blood. Bloody oil.
And that's it. But otherwise, it's an empty room.
I'm guessing if you had the code, that thermostat would get.
But other than that, it's just an empty room.
Yeah, if the security guard had typed
as
in
your
the code,
what's your human skill?
it would have been a different
50.
room.
Yeah, you're alert. So, I mean, yeah, as your what's yours? Since you're not up there messing with the thermostat.
30.
I mean, Fulquist, even you can tell that, like, when she's up there messing with the thermostat, people are sort of exchanging significant glances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your computer science?
Limited 20.
20? I'm gonna go over there and look at it too and be like, hey, watch my back. And I've got a 40 in computer science, so I'm just gonna try and, look, go through its different functions and see if there's, anything
That stands
particularly weird about it that's standing out.
Are you
Like
doing
that you wouldn't find on a normal electronic thermostat.
Sure.
Are you doing it like
As-
90s movie hacker style? Like the faster you type, the better you are at it?
The wild.
As you sort of fool around with it for a while, the Lieutenant Stein, or not Stein, Deucin says, beg your pardon, sir, is there something we can help you with for the environment here?
Yeah, you can keep standing over there.
Stand right where you are and look pretty.
Yes, sir. And you eventually you get it to you figure out that, like, when you press the little asterisk key twice in a row
That's what.
after you haven't messed with it for a few
This
seconds,
was
that
the
the little
episode of it.
screen
There was
thing
the video.
changes to
With
function,
my
and then if you just sort of press stuff, it kind of blinks like, yes, you are pressing buttons, and then eventually nothing happens, and then you leave it alone for a few seconds, and it goes back to normal.
Well,
Well, that's
but I'm not a
useless,
computer
but
hacker.
you do have a grenade.
That works really well. Electronics. I'll have
Oh,
8.
gosh, it's a
Five.
good idea.
Yes. What if we combined our computer skills?
Okay, just
No?
sit still.
Doesn't look
You
like
get,
it.
you get to use the better one of your skills.
I just know we're in the right thing. We're in the.
Could I call up Cisco and have her send a leak computer hacker to us?
No, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to call her on the phone with words that other people in the NSA would be able
Okay,
to listen to, and
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
inevitably have to be
I'm going
dealt
to.
with. Yeah.
I'm gonna like discreetly and quietly like let them know through the little earpiece that
Okay.
yeah there's
There's
Or
definitely
fishy going on.
something here, and we have what we
Yeah, from time to time, their guys are kind
Yeah.
of doing the same
yeah
thing over in the other corner.
and we just can't get into it.
Okay, well, we've done what we can inside,
Right.
right?
Yep. So Lassiter says, well, what else can we show you to satisfy the terms of your warrant?
There's an archway that is a gate, a portal of some kind to another dimension. If we could see that.
So I find it
Oh.
strange that they
He's not going to
all-
respond to that unless that's literally what you say.
No, no.
I find it strange that they all seem to be aware that something sketchy's going on.
I know
They're
all
all
of
involved,
them. They're all
down to the
in
lowest
on it.
workers, the
All
security guards.
550
I thought that too.
employees.
Yeah.
I confirm that is
That's
you do find that
awesome.
strange. Yes.
I would
I want to
expect
watch
that
something
you know,
else. And
the higher ups would be
Here,
aware,
Let me see it.
but that everybody's aware, that's odd and disturbing.
Mhm.
Because
then
that means that
Well,
they're all
if the thermostat let us into, I'm sure that they would probably kill us all right there before we ever.
possible. Well, I mean, our mission is to get to this gate, or at least find out where it is. I think we know where
I
it
think
is.
we know
now.
where it is.
They've
It's
got a
just
whole
getting
dorm
to
over
it.
there. You're not going to
Well, yeah, we can go investigate.
for a workout.
Yeah, we need to see everything. So yeah, that'll be the next stage.
Yeah.
So
It has like has a big kind of whatever sort of industrial steam chimney kind of a thing
Oh.
coming up off of building B.
wasn't there a weird thing on the back? Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess I'm just gonna keep messing with the function thing until I
Alright.
randomly find the right code for it.
1,000 monkeys.
Yeah.
Let's go check out Building B.
Yes, we'll go check out building B.
You stay behind to
The
find
two.
it.
000.
So
Zero,
you're
zero,
literally
zero, one.
staying in there doing that while the other three go exploring.
Well, what I want to get, I
I
want
don't
to tell
think you
when
should
we'll
be
come down
alone.
and the four of us will confer.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, I want you, once we leave and have Lassiter with us, I want you to go to his office and look at he has a weird collection of stuff and
Books,
antique books and
artifacts.
things.
Okay.
So, so give us a minute till we get into the building and then head up there. Okay.
All right.
000.
Yeah, you do whatever. I mean, use your knowledge of
After the seventh one, like this little light comes on and it says locked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Alright.
All
Okay.
right.
If only grenades could solve this problem. We have a lot of those. Alright, so we will go investigate building B.
Okay.
I'll let them show us around.
Yeah, sure. Lassiter and Avery will go with you with a couple of guards and lead the way inside. And And so building B. So you go inside like the entry, and there's sort of a waiting room. It doesn't have like secretary's office kind of waiting room. It's more of a, I don't know. It looks more like sort of a common room.
Like a lounge.
Okay.
Yeah, a lounge. And then there's like that corridor and that corridor and that corridor. And as they're showing you around, they show you, there's rec rooms, there's a cafeteria, there's a laundry, there's dorms, communal showers.
Right, so I've never worked in an
Gym.
electronics R&D plant, but I'm thinking this isn't usual either.
No, it's not. And he sort of says, I mean, he addresses that squarely up front, because it's obviously not usual, and says that they, that our workers, we pride ourselves on embracing the achievement the achievements that can come with focused work. So many of our R&D workers will spend 2 weeks living on campus on the premises here, and they work very demanding hours in those 2 weeks, and then go home, stay home for a week, not supposed to think about work for a second, and come back. We tend to attract employees that don't have children, don't have families. That's not something that we set out to look for. It's certainly not a deal breaker or anything that we hire that we use as a reason to hire someone or not hire someone. But that's just the way it is. Those employees that do have families, they have families that know this is how their genius works.
Well, that's a strangely plausible explanation.
He's a strangely plausible fellow when he sets his mind to it.
It's like he's got a cover story worked out for everything.
We're just wasting our time here, unless we can figure out a way to get in
Well, we
that
can't
thing.
get
It's
in
just.
Is there any?
I mean, we
place-
could find their head of security and put a gun to his head.
Is there any
could
place
do
that
that.
they're avoiding?
Put a
that
grenade
they're
in his
not
mouth?
going, not necessarily
Well,
deliberately, but
you
just
what do we got in the way of I don't know, search skills or
I have really
50
good
if
search.
you had
No.
architecture, you would have this nailed down.
Exactly.
But in the meantime,
I've got 50.
no.
I've got 80.
51.
You're not there, though. You're not there.
I'm,
So-
I'm
Where
there.
am I?
you're paying attention.
You're going
You get
to
you
the-
get
I want
the
you to-
you
you
sort of
go.
figure out eventually that you've been you're looking in places, going down the hall, looking at someplace else, out the hall, and someplace else. It's sort of it's getting more and more certainty certainty from suspicion that you're kind of essentially walking in sort of an outer ring of this building,
Right.
and
We're not seeing doors that lead into the interior, or we're just not.
at least not that
Not going
have been
through them.
obvious. Yeah, exactly. And so, and the routes that like once that occurs to you, you kind of
Notice it.
watching for it,
Right.
and you get the sense after a while that the routes that they're taking you through, they go, okay, and if we'll turn left here, and
Right.
this is almost like we're going into the middle of this building,
Oh, wow.
and it's this big, cafeteria, and surely this takes up a lot of space, and then we'll turn right here and go, and
Right.
But they're working us around.
yeah, and and eventually you kind of get to the last dormitory, and he says, and that's that's our residential hall.
Alright. And I'll ask him about the steam thing on the back. What's that?
That's for the laundromat and the cafeteria.
Did we see the laundromat?
We did, yeah. And the bowling alley and the
No bowling alley.
They're not that progressive.
mini theater. The, alright.
So you know that they haven't shown you.
Yeah,
Right.
clearly there's.
They've obviously not shown us everything.
Are there multiple floors? Or is there just one story?
It's 2 stories like the other one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Alright, so as we are making our way back around, I'm going to keep looking for doors towards the interior.
Sure, and you know, you eventually, you know, you realize there's I mean there's a couple that kind of you think probably like
Head that way.
yeah.
Alright, well then we'll come to one of those and I'll say, and what's through here?
Oh, that's one of our storage rooms.
Yeah, we'll have to see that.
Yeah, of course. He gestures Avery forward, and Avery swipes his thing, and the little thing stays red, you know, and he and Avery sort of shakes his head and says, "My God, I thought we got these repaired," and
I'll make the human roll to see that that's
and Lassiter goes up and Lola, let me try mine.
exactly.
And it's still malfunctioning. Oh my
Well, that's
goodness.
too bad. That's not
That's
We're going to
terrible.
have to get
see to that, yeah.
get electricians out here.
Alright, so we'll continue on until we come to another one. Well, how about through here?
Oh yeah. And what's the what are the odds?
What odds? The
That-
second storage room doesn't open.
Yeah.
I've got a skeleton key for Thursday.
That's true.
I'm sorry your door's not working. I guess you'll just have to break it down.
Well, we'll
We need one of your. We need
Get one of your technicians out here to open it up.
Yeah, we'll wait.
So who all is here at this point?
two of us are.
Yes.
I
Are you
wanted
not there?
her to go.
Yeah, he probably came over when he.
Oh, when he
When
locked
the
the other thing.
thermostat-
Yeah, when it got
Woodhouse.
locked, I was like,
That's true.
I'm in dude's office, I guess, upstairs looking at.
Okay.
I hear that, or I'm just wandering around.
Security guys following you around.
Yeah, figured he.
So he Avery says, "You seriously want to break a door down to look in the closet here?"
Well,
No,
not
no, no, no.
necessarily.
But we'll need to see inside there. That's part of our
No, we can't
job
just.
here. We can't just leave without seeing everything.
Oh.
Yeah. He makes a big show, getting on the radio and calling and saying, yes, I know it's after hours.
I feel for you.
And
Wasn't my idea.
We're just doing our job.
These assholes here won't leave us alone.
Exactly.
so, Dr. Hawtrey,
Mm-hmm.
you're snooping around back in Lassiter's office.
Yeah, looking at the books. I know there was something in Russian. I'm just gonna
Yeah, the label for that is the Litke papers. It's very old, early 19th century.
What about this for weird artifacts and stuff?
You know Latin?
No. Russian and Spanish.
The weird artifacts. The the artifacts are they're generally like kind of abstract, sculptures or things like that may have been originally done as for representational of some kind of religion or other.
Given her hefty anthropology, she should be able to tell you what culture's made of if they're known.
Sure, yeah. So there's there are a couple that are old Aztec that have that are definitely centered around different versions of Quetzalcoatl, the sort of serpent creator, whatever god, and and there's one that you don't recognize the sort of anthropological whatever derivation of it. It's this really strange kind of turning in on itself shape, like it's made of stone, but it was sort of whatever sculpted or chiseled to look like it's sort of a knot, this kind of impossible knot that's kind of turning in.
That's
Escher
gonna
kind of thing in
absolutely
stone.
intrigue me because I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, and after about 10 minutes, you hear the guard over there saying, "Ma'am, are you all right?"
As you become entranced.
Yeah.
with it.
Yes.
For some reason you're thinking of it's strange. You're thinking of a texture. It's a texture kind of like you may not have ever felt it, but kind of like you would imagine a snail's hide would feel like.
Like a snail's skin.
Skin, yeah.
Soft and cool.
Clammy and slightly moist.
Slightly.
Weird.
You should take some more Ambien, by the way.
And all of this is just from staring at this
Knot
knot thing, and it's.
Are you all right, man?
Yes, I'm fine.
Do you need
Thank
some
you.
water?
Yes, please get me some water.
Sure. He takes a step back.
Oh, he calls somebody for water.
Yeah.
Great. Is this case open at all? Unlocked? Who owns these things in here?
Mr. Lassiter does, ma'am.
They're his personal property?
Yes, ma'am. He's a collector.
I'm seeing something that belonged to the company or something. I'll need to see those.
So the in the other place,
Yeah.
a technician eventually gets there with tools and kind of hunkers down and starts working on the keypad, you know, and the wiring on it.
I'm watching Avery and Lassiter during this whole thing.
And they're watching you.
Yeah.
And you and each other. And
It's a Mexican standoff of watching.
yeah, and you know, the technician is sort of, you know, he kind of looks up and he's watching too, you know.
Should I be fixing this? Should I
And,
just keep messing with it?
Right, and he says, you know, sir, I'm sorry. I think we've got we must have a short in the wiring that's connecting some of the systems here. Blah blah blah. Techno babble bullshit. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, exactly.
Guess we'll just have to short it out and override it.
I'm okay with that. We can wait.
Oh, that could be very dangerous, sir. I mean, that's we're talking about electricity.
That's why you're wearing those thick gloves, right?
What are they paying for here?
Hazard pay, man. Don't you want to earn it?
Now he's following union guidelines, and it's a lockout. You can't work on this while it's live. I mean, come on. I've had this training
I think you'll turn off all the power.
when I worked at the plywood factory. Yes, I'm gonna tell them that I understand you've got technical difficulties, but we can't leave until we've been in here, so you're gonna have to get it working. Or we can call in some of our own technicians. Oh, well, blatantly lock.
Yeah,
All right. Well, just
a team. Or we can call in our own team.
Yeah.
Avery shakes his head and says, "Well, find something to knock the handle in manually, then."
How about your hard head?
Leaves and comes back with the
Hammer.
the little sledgehammer, kind of a hammer, and it's just a damn shame. I'm gonna have to repair this all over again. And he starts like knocking it in and knocking it in and knocking it in. And eventually, he knocks it open, and the door kind of swings open. And
It's a broom closet.
Highly secure.
that's right.
We have a problem with people lifting toilet paper.
And inside, it's not a room closet.
Mm-hmm.
It is like another corridor, kind of running parallel, and down some as well, like away. And you can see, like, it looks similar to where you've been, but stacked up against the walls at a lot of points, there's like stacks of crates and supplies, there's one thing that's obviously like 4 pallets in a row of MREs. And and opposite that is like a pallet that's nothing but boxes of 30-06 ammunition, and
That's interesting.
and aluminum boxes of sunscreen, by the 100, and water purification kits, and you name it, like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And as you're all taking all of that in, the three of you who were, in fact, all four of you, not you, you three roll alertness.
Oh. Okay, yes.
Nope.
I succeed.
All right.
One
So
of us does.
you're not caught by surprise.
Okay.
As the guards, like, it's not really one motion, but it kind of looks like it because they were obviously bracing for this. But the guards like surge forward, and Avery sort of pushes Lassiter backwards, and gets in between where you guys and him, and the guards all. I mean, there weren't that many of them. There's basically one for each of you at this point. But each of them jumps on one of you.
Okay.
And so Dressner, dude jumps you.
Yep.
Okay, so he hits, which this is a pin attack that he's trying for.
Okay.
Right. So the
Hold someone down. Your agent can attack the pin target in later turns. Unarmed combat and melee weapon attacks on the pin target are at 20%. The pin character can take no actions except attempting to escape. While paying a target, you can decide whether and when the target can speak.
Okay. All right. So you just get like blindsided, tackled, and knocked down, and you're being wrestled with. Fulquist. I tell you, make a luck roll. 50-50 chance. If you succeed, he's doing something else.
15.
Okay, so instead of jumping you, yours is getting out his baton and flicking it open.
She saw them come.
And Woodhouse, yes, what's your dexterity?
Where would that? It's a 9.
Okay, so he's definitely quicker than you.
Yeah.
So, so you make a luck roll as well, 50-50 chance.
It's 41.
Okay, so he too flips open a baton, and and says, "Put your hands up, ma'am." What do you do?
Put your
My
hands up.
hands are going up
All right.
into my hair to retrieve the poisoned pins that I keep. No, I mean, I don't even have a weapon, but yeah.
You don't have a weapon?
Why would I have a weapon? I'm a librarian.
We would have given you a weapon before we went
I
in.
gave it back. That makes me uncomfortable, and you know it. Yeah, no, my hands are going up.
Right.
Why are you on our team?
Yeah.
You can't get words made on like.
I'm being wrestled to the ground right now. I can't do anything.
My
You can
hands go
control
up,
them like
and
a
I hit
speaker.
the speaker button on my like that.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Please don't kill us.
So, Hawtrey, you roll alertness, get a plus 20 bonus because of her thinking to key the sound.
No.
Listen to it.
Even with the plus
No,
20?
he's like 23.
What? You're if you're paying attention, you're really, really good.
Right.
But otherwise, you're oblivious.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
She's just
all right.
so focused on that.
Yeah, that's not.
Roll, make a luck roll, Hawtrey. 50-50 chance.
Roll it.
49.
Okay, so you too are alerted to the change of circumstances with this like really distinctive click sound as the guy like flips open his collapsible steel
In the room
baton.
with me?
Yeah. And he's like got his hand up to his ear.
If I hear the okay, go ahead.
Well, and he takes it down and he says, "You're gonna need to come with me, ma'am."
What's going on? Can I surreptitiously reach for my pepper spray that I have in my pocket?
What's your stealth like?
Not at all.
Okay.
It's not even close to Poppy.
Try.
10%.
roll stealth. Give it a shot.
Give yourself a check mark.
Yeah.
I
You can
mean,
take that check. This is opposed by his alertness.
Uh-huh.
He definitely succeeded at that, so he said, "Put your hands up, ma'am. I won't warn you again.
What's
this is a
going
serious
on?
situation."
What? You tell me what's going on. I'm a member of the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
Yes, ma'am. We'll explain everything later. Hands on your head, please.
This is preposterous.
I know, ma'am. It's if you would just turn around, please.
What are you gonna do? I will not turn around. What's
I'm not
going
going
on?
to hurt you, ma'am, as long as you
I'm
cooperate.
gonna. My hands are on my head. I want to
Yes,
know what
ma'am.
this is
That's
about.
I need you to turn around, ma'am, so
No,
I
I'll follow
can.
you. I'm not turning my back on you, sir. No, sir.
This is your
I
last
will not.
warning, ma'am. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to use force if you won't comply.
You're
I
get
am
the
not
shit beat
gonna.
out of you.
I'm not doing that.
Okay.
Why don't you have a gun, by the way?
I do have a gun.
Why did you get it out?
Well, he wouldn't let me.
All right.
You didn't have to be surreptitious about it.
So,
I was actually going for my pepper spray
Yeah.
first.
Oh no.
So,
your gun. Why are you not?
so meanwhile,
I'm gonna be backing
My
away,
dex
by
is
the
a
way.
12.
your X is a 12. So meanwhile,
For
okay,
way too.
top of the next turn, right? Your guy is as far as he knows intimidating you successfully, and you're being compliant. Your guy is glaring at you and telling you to put your hands up.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I guess he's
Oh,
gonna.
no.
He's gonna. Okay, all right.
Bag of grenades.
Yeah.
Well,
So-
I mean,
Yeah. These people clearly mean us no good. We can rationalize it later.
Yeah.
Get a gun.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm getting my gun out.
Okay.
Grenades are for when after we take care of these guys.
All right. So he kind of instinctively calls out, "Gun!" And for his action, he's going to try to do a disarm on you.
Like crack your wrist with that.
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Oh, that fails. So he sort of thumps into your arm, but without really bringing force on the hard part of that baton, and then over there,
wrestling.
yeah. So he's gonna. You can attempt to escape. He's gonna try to do another wrestling roll to try to get cuffs on you this
Okay.
time.
That's unarmed combat.
Yep.
I failed every roll tonight.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, he failed his too, so he's still got you down, but
Okay,
he's
so
not
that's
got you.
there.
Not got you. You're still pinned, but you're not
I would just like
handcuffed.
to point out
Mhm. Yeah.
fast reaction, just so you know.
Yeah. I hear you.
Sorry, I'm
you.
fast on the reaction.
These guys are good.
Yeah, they're good, but I'm good.
Yeah. And so that was them. Okay, and Dr. Hawtrey,
Threes me.
I
you
demand
guys
it.
hands up,
Action
and
was
he
pulling my
refused to
gun out.
comply.
Well,
So he's gonna try to thump you on the leg with his baton too.
I'm gonna fast react and dodge.
All right. You can make a
Okay,
dodge.
Poppy.
You don't have to make a dodge roll yet.
See if
I'm
he
gonna roll
fails.
see if he
Okay.
hits you first. He's been aiming, so I'm gonna give him a bonus.
Sure.
So he's gonna hit you, so you can make a
With
dodge
is
roll.
that a critical success?
It is, as a matter of fact.
Ow. That's gonna
Or if you don't want to bother dodging, you can just soak it up and do something else if you don't get completely knocked over.
Okay, I really now want to get my gun.
So you want to just take the damage and then
Yes.
hope you
Go
survive
down,
it
pull
and
the gun.
get the gun out? Okay. I got it.
I'm gonna break your leg.
Ouch. Oh, so mad now.
Yeah. It's not really. He's not really trying to do like full damage, crack your head open with his club thing
He
though. So I'm not
shouldn't.
gonna roll double damage on that. I'm gonna roll. What I'm gonna do instead for the critical is I'll give him a normal damage
He'll
roll,
certainly
but
knock
then
you
it's
down.
gonna knock you. Yeah, you're gonna be knocked prone. So that's 6 points of damage.
Ow!
My
Where's my
kneecap.
damage? Where's my...
It's your hit points.
Oh, you have
All right.
hit points left.
So, how many hit points do you have?
11.
So now you're at 5. Okay, you got not more than half your hit points, so you're going to have to make a con times 5 roll.
I don't know what that means.
I'm sorry, it's your Constitution.
Uh-huh.
So that's 60. You want to roll a 60 or lower, or else you're gonna pass out.
35.
Okay, so you flop to the ground in agony, your leg cracked, and he hit you like right on that nerve cluster that's on the side. That's where they train to hit, to disable. So you flop down like a pile of potatoes. Yeah, and it hurts like hell, but you still got your wits about you, so you can pull your gun out.
I'm gonna pull my gun out.
You know what? Make a dex roll. I'm not gonna. That's not a freebie. You've been knocked over, and things are tough.
17.
Yes.
Okay, pistol comes out.
I'm shooting him.
Well, next one.
Next turn, we'll see.
Come on! I really
So
want to shoot.
all
I
right.
don't
So
care
next
about
turn,
shooting.
your guy's trying to handcuff you again, so you can make an escape roll to oppose him.
Yes.
12.
I finally succeed.
Okay, so he rolled a 14. What did you roll?
12.
So he rolled higher than you, which means
He succeeds.
yeah. All right. So click, and you've been handcuffed. Usually you're on the other side of that one.
Exactly.
Feels lousy.
It does. Terrible.
That sounds...
Perfect justice.
All right. So your dude had whacked your hand and failed to disarm you.
Yeah.
Okay. And you pulled your weapon out. So
Yes.
this turn, he's oh golly, what's he gonna have to do?
Get the
He's
fuck out of there.
yeah. He's gonna he yells out gun again and yeah, really. I think he's gonna have to. Is he gonna try to disarm you again, or is he just gonna beat you about the head?
I'm guessing he's faster than I am.
What's your dexterity?
12.
Yeah. He's gonna try to disarm you again because these guys are not—they're not out for blood here, unless they absolutely have
Well,
to
they're
be.
gonna have to be in
They,
second.
they might have to be in a second, but in the meantime,
I'm yelling out,
in
by
the
the way,
meantime,
drop
that's
it.
an 0-1. So, do you want to try to?
They'll have to dodge it.
I can fight back with a, with With the
or
disarm.
melee weapon. Mm-hmm.
These people are crazy. They're cray.
So do I have to dodge him to not get disarmed, or can I shoot him to not get disarmed?
Dodge or or fight back.
Right, and fight back would be an attack roll. Right?
Yeah,
Put attack with a weapon in his hand.
unarmed combat or melee weapons. In other words, you're either fighting with him physically,
Or
or
getting out of the way.
yeah, or getting out of the way.
Well, my unarmed combat is 42, which is the same as my gun,
So
and my dodge is 32.
punch him with your gun in the butt.
Yeah, there you go.
That's your
Pistol
call.
weapon, I guess.
Yeah, try to.
Yeah, I guess I'll try and pistol whip him as he's doing that.
Okay.
38.
Okay.
So I succeeded a higher number than he did.
So he rolled an 0-1, which is a critical.
Is it? Along with doubles?
Yep.
I see.
Oh, really?
It's critical. Would that have changed what you're gonna do?
No. What else are we gonna do?
I mean, yeah, I mean,
It just changes the way he feels about what he rolled.
yeah.
Okay. I mean, if that would have affected your choice, then that's I don't mind rectifying that.
I mean, there wouldn't have been anything different I could have done.
So, all right. So this time, when he whacks your hand, it whacks your hand, and your gun clatters out your nerveless fingers. And Dr. Hawtrey, your fellow says, he's not trying to give you calm instructions. Things are still crazy. He's sort of keeping you covered and watching to see if he's going to have to jump in on one of these other
Woodhouse.
Yeah, Woodhouse. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
And
Confused.
and who else is there? Avery. Avery has his own pistol out now. He's not aiming at anybody, but he's sort of down on the floor, waiting to see if he's going to need to bring it to bear on someone. And Lassiter's not like he's around the corner somewhere. He's not in
Is
the
there
middle
a
of all this
reason you
craziness.
gentlemen feel the need to attack?
Yeah, you're saying this
Federal
amid
agents?
like blah 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 blah, so nobody hears that. And where were we? Okay, upstairs in the other building.
I'm on the ground.
Okay. Yeah. So you dropped and you've got your pistol out and you're trying to shoot him, and his eyes get really wide, and he does his best to disarm you as well. Before you can plug him.
He's got better odds than he thinks.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, so that's a success. So you can try to dodge, or you can try to fight back,
Probably better at dodging you or
or
shooting.
whatever you prefer.
I'm not, really.
Well, you can't shoot.
Can I do?
Yes, that's what you want.
An unarmed?
attack, yeah.
Okay. So,
Kick him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't know, it doesn't, because my leg
Well, the
is
other way.
killing me. So anytime I move any bottom part of me, I imagine
Well,
that's
he's
going to
coming
really
in
hurt.
with this metal baton trying to hit your wrist, holding your gun.
Yeah. So
Pistol
you
whipping.
would use the unarmed. I mean, however you want to
Okay,
describe it.
then, alright, then I will. Then I'm going to, like, rear back with my good leg and just try to knee it, like,
Sure.
kick him.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah, I won't blame you a bit.
Aim for the knees.
What'd you get?
51.
Okay. All right. So he sort of gets in there and whacks your hand until your gun drops down, and that's the end of the turn. So, okay, you're handcuffed. Your guy is like staying on you, and I'm sure you're still bucking and being troublesome. So he's kind of staying on you.
Is my guy distracted at all?
Kind of, but he's not. He's doing his best to not get real distracted. Like he's watching, but he's watching.
Okay.
So, so in your corner, yeah, I think your guy's gonna try to knock you down as well with the leg strike. And he'll fumble with an 88.
Nice.
So his baton is he like hits your leg, but hits it not at just the wrong time, and it kind of bounces off the wall and out of his hand and clatters to the floor.
Okay.
Good.
Scoop up your...
Yeah, I'm gonna try and go for my gun. Should I do that, or should I
So you're just standing there with your hands up.
push him off into the... Yeah, no, I'm just gonna jump for my
I'm
gun.
waiting. I mean, I'm not gonna do something stupid, but if I get an opening...
Okay, make a dex roll.
No.
7.
Dex times 5.
Yeah.
45. Pass.
Okay. You hear Avery yelling at you. Leave that on the ground. Leave it on the ground.
Fuck that guy.
Okay. And okay, so that's the end of that turn, and then over with you up there. So your guy is waiting. He's sort of, he's telling you just put hands on your head, ma'am.
You are going to have the full weight of the FBI down on your head
Yes, ma'am. I understand that.
any minute now. This is ridiculous.
Yes, ma'am. Would you please put your hands on your head?
I'm on the ground, right, with a broken leg and hand, basically.
Yes.
My hand
Well, your hand's not
hurts.
broken.
I'll just stay right here.
Hands on your head, ma'am. All right. So downstairs.
See? And I don't have a broken leg.
I think I'm really badly bruised. I don't think it's broken.
6 hit
6 out
points.
of 11 hit points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably going broken.
You're lucky it didn't fly off and crash out the window.
That would be a rude rescue.
Okay. So the real challenge is with you two. So Avery he's kind of he's pointing at you at this point, Fulquist, and
Don't
yelling at you to to drop that weapon.
Don't shoot the man with the grenades!
And your guy that dropped his baton. Oh golly, yeah, no, he's gonna have to try to disarm you again. He's gonna he's gonna try to like get up to you and do some judo on you to
Alright, so I'm trying to get my knees under me with this guy on
Can I
me,
trip
so I
one
can
of
just
them?
push back and throw him back.
Okay. Yeah. Make a strength roll. Just your strength opposing his strength.
Okay. I fail miserably.
Okay.
Can I trip the guy who's lunging at him? Maybe. Am I in
Not
the right
really,
position?
no, because you were probably a couple
These are
of
the
feet
worst
away
fights.
at least, and they were in the middle of fighting already.
All right, I'm gonna start edging away, like down the corridor.
They're just mocking.
Okay,
Just
so-
slowly. Just...
So unarmed combat succeeds with a 12. It's not a critical.
We're so fucked.
Sure. So unarmed combat to pistol whip him off of me.
Yeah.
36 pass.
Okay, so you want to do damage on him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so just roll a. What's your strength?
Break his
D12,
fucking nose
or a 12 rather.
something.
Okay, so it's a D4 damage.
3.
All right, so
Good
you
clock.
Yeah, you bonk him in the head, and he lets out a yell, and he's unhappy for. Okay, your guy is doing his best to get handcuffs on you. So
Me?
Yeah.
Do a limp noodle like children do.
Okay, I'm gonna like feign, like not feign because it really is hurting, and be like, my hand, and really try again
For
to
the
go
pepper spray?
in. Yes,
Oh, okay.
because I'm gonna try that.
All right.
But you're laying there on the ground. He's up above you.
Well,
You
then
could,
he's coming out.
you
now.
could distract him a little bit more.
No, I'm
These are
a
professionals.
fine British woman.
Not to mention, I'm guessing,
I'll tell you what. If you want to try
Time traveling
persuade
soldiers.
instead of stealth to
yeah.
to make, you can try
Okay,
that to distract him from
Okay.
what your hand is doing with
Broken
all of your
my
whining
hand.
and complaining. I mean,
I am.
I don't want to say whining.
No, it
It's-
is.
It's
No,
well
that's
deserved.
not
Legitimate.
Yeah, it's legitimate complaints.
3.
3, okay, sure. Okay, you get your pepper spray out.
Oh.
Is his mouth open?
All right, we'll find out. Make a Dex times 5 roll. This
Don't
is
inhale.
This is one you don't want to fumble.
15.
15, okay.
Nice.
All right, so I'll give him a dodge roll to have a prayer, and all right, well that'll succeed. So you let fly, and he kind of gets his hand up, and enough that his arm takes the brunt of it this time around anyway. And he sounds really surprised. And
My arm really itches.
yeah.
Burns.
It
It's
burns.
burning
Yeah.
spray.
Well, that's what they have their long sleeve khakis. And okay, so Fulquist down there, you were wrestling with this guy, right?
No.
No.
Or you backsmashed him on the
Pistol
head?
whipped him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Avery's still yelling at you to drop your weapon, and your guy that you pistol whipped, he's not down yet, so he's trying again to wrestle you down and get that gun out of the equation.
I pepper sprayed our cow.
And he fails.
Okay.
I didn't mean to.
Well, good. I'm gonna shoot Avery. 01.
That's a critical.
Nice. Nice.
All right.
Very
He's
good.
gonna be so mad at you.
So
That was
that's
you shooting
2d10
at Avery?
damage.
It's 2d10 damage.
Yeah, no, I really thought I was in trouble because I couldn't
Yeah.
stop coughing and I couldn't
9.
inhale and
Okay, so I'm taking off 3 for his bulletproof vest. So he takes 6 and has to make a. I think he has to make a con roll.
I was upset.
Let's see if he's got tons and tons of hit points.
I didn't mention my hollow point ammunition.
Depleted uranium.
If you want hollow point ammunition, it's pretty standard among federal law enforcement.
It's
Yes.
terrible against armor, though.
It's
isn't it?
very, very terrible against armor.
Yeah. It's against unarmored. It's
Yeah.
great. Against armor, it's terrible.
You did 6. Okay, so no, it's not quite half his hit points. So, all right, but it certainly hurts, and he kind of recoils, and
Pops one off of you, I'm guessing.
yes,
What
yeah,
are
you're
you
right
gonna
there.
do?
You're right there in the middle of things with his dude, but he's been warning you and aiming at you. So he's gonna try to. He's gonna
Although I
shoot
would
you.
assume
It's
this
gonna have to be a
offsets his
called.
aim.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be a called shot. I'm gonna say -40 because you were really fighting in the middle
I'm
of fighting with
also
that guy.
gonna scream when I see the gun come up. to
Sure,
see if I
and
can
you hear a
distract him
bullshit.
little bit.
You hear a bullshit. You hear a gunshot. Sorry.
That's a great.
Oh my bullshit!
This is what we always called when you were GM.
All right. So
You're bullshit.
he pops
That's
off a
funny.
couple of shots at you
That was great.
and misses hard. So you
Nice.
do not
Does he
get
hit
shot
himself?
this time.
Does
Well,
he
he's
shoot
trying
himself?
not to hit this guy, too.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, exactly. And is that everybody?
I'm still trying to wrestle up from one guy, but not very successful.
Are there
Okay.
weapons
Did
on
we
the
resolve
ground?
that for you
No,
already?
not for this round.
Okay. There's a
There's a baton in there.
Yeah, a couple of feet from you. You this within reach.
I'm sure your guy's distracted now that there's gunfire.
Yeah,
Mhm.
totally
Can I get to it?
whack it?
Yeah, make a dex roll.
I mean, my dex is pretty garbage, but I will try. That's a 13.
Okay, you pick up the club.
I'm gonna hold it kind of behind myself.
They
Okay.
saw you pick it up.
Yeah.
Probably, and like sidle over. I'm counting on him being disturbed. I'm gonna try to hit him somewhere tender.
Who?
No, the guy who's
the
covering
guy who's-
you saw you pick it up.
I thought he was distracted.
Well,
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
you
sense
got a guy
that-
who's been hanging, sitting, staring at. Yeah, he is distracted by all the craziness. Sure.
All right.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. Make a roll stealth against his alertness. If he
God,
fails
that's
his
so
alertness, then
Yeah.
he succeeded. But roll critical success.
Nope.
So yeah, no.
Give
He
yourself a check
plainly
Yeah.
he sort of sees you pick up the baton, and there's gunshots, and he's yelling at you plainly like, "Put that down!" And
Yeah, put it
You
down on
have
his
one?
head.
and all right. So okay, so with you, Hawtrey, let's see. You sprayed the dude and he dodged. So this is a new turn. So he's just gonna beat you unconscious at this point. Come on. Come
Well,
on.
yeah, exactly.
What are you,
You'd have
what are
to.
you thinking?
Yeah.
All right. So he hit. You want to try to dodge or
Yes.
fight back or anything like that?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna fight back.
Okay.
40.
I'm gonna fight back. Yeah, I'm just fighting back. Get away from me! Get away from me!
No.
55.
Fumble.
55 is a fumble. All right. So
I have a hurt hand. I got a hurt leg. What do you want from me?
yeah. Okay.
Success.
Unconsciousness.
Yeah, exactly.
So as he's
Knock
hitting,
you out.
you spray yourself with pepper spray.
Oh no!
Yeah.
And,
Oh, that's so awful.
And lose another 5 hit points.
I'm down to 0.
Oh.
I'm 0, Shane. What does that mean?
Well,
At 0 hit points, your agent dies. Unless the handler says otherwise.
yeah. No, I don't. You're not gonna.
You were
You're
beaten
not
down
gonna
to 0,
die,
but
right?
you're unconscious, I bet.
We'll leave you at. I'll leave you at 1d2 hit points because he's not going to keep beating you until your skull cracks open.
One.
One
One
hit.
hit point.
You have 1 hit point.
At 2 hit points or below, your agent falls unconscious for an hour or until healed at least 3 hit points.
So he's knocked you.
Yeah.
Make a contest.
Make a roll for your constitution.
Yeah, you will have to do this, unfortunately.
You
I'll
probably have.
express my remorse and
Sorry.
apologies ahead of time.
38.
Fail it.
38. Is that a pass?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So you're alive.
So you don't get permanently crippled and deformed by the
Or
Thanks.
brain damage.
Yeah, if it fails, look at the lowest die in the percentile roll as a single d10. The agent loses that many points from a single stat of the handler's choice, permanently to a minimum score of 3.
Wow.
Oh,
But you don't have to deal with that.
I don't have to do that.
Okay. So Kush, what's happening? You got shot at. It's a new turn. Avery's gonna go first, and he's gonna try another called shot on you because you shot him in the chest.
Exactly.
Damn it.
And that's a natural reaction, I think, with a gun in your
Yeah.
hand to shoot the guy who shot you.
All right. That one's gonna hit you.
Oh no!
Was that a critical
Oh,
success?
yeah.
No, it was a 10.
Oh.
That's terrible. You're gonna
Are you-
die.
Are you anything you can do about that?
Pull the guy in front of you.
Well, my dodge is 32. I guess I
The
can
guy
try
who's
that.
on you in front of you.
You
Have
can
him
get
take
those
that.
No, but you could dump behind cover if you succeed
Yeah,
in
his
dodging.
friend is a cover.
If you succeed in dodging, his friend takes the bullet. Sure.
Yes, do it.
24 success.
Whoa!
Nice.
I better start keeping track of these poor guys.
Well, he probably does he have a vest too?
He already took 3 hit points from my
Yes.
pistol whip,
Yeah, that's right.
and I'm sure we all came in here with vests.
Did
Why
you?
wouldn't we?
I would think. Well,
We would-
yeah, we're going into a pretty hostile space. That's likely, I think. Anyone who has them. I don't know that you guys have
You
them.
all four of you have
No,
bulletproof
no, I
vests?
think the two of us do.
I don't have any reason to have a bullet.
Yeah.
I'm pissed that I didn't have one.
Alright, so
I
the
now
guard
consider
loses
buying
7
one.
hit points. And
Oh.
he kind of very surprisedly gets shot and crumples to the ground with a couple of bullets in him. And Avery looks really mad now.
Can I pop off it?
Now, because you dodged this time. So
Okay.
next turn,
I can't make a dex roll to try and do it?
No.
Okay.
and
I'm still thrashing around with my guy.
yeah,
keeping him occupied.
next turn he's gonna keep shooting you because god damn it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he?
She's not gonna try and...
Oh, I don't know. Are you gonna try to do something?
Just try to do something.
your guy?
Sure,
Hit it.
I'll hit him with the thing.
Because, I mean, if this guy keeps going before I do, he's eventually going to kill me.
Yeah.
Or he'll miss.
Or miss.
What do I roll for that?
Melee weapons.
That's
8.
an 8.
There you
Nice!
go.
Right
Gonna
upside the
make,
face.
Make this guy fight
He
you.
didn't. He didn't see it coming. He's like, put it down.
No.
It's a lucky.
Okay, you know what? I'll give him an alertness roll to be paid because you were being all mousy.
Mhm.
He succeeds,
Yeah,
so
okay,
no way.
okay.
Is he. So what did you roll? An 8? That's what he's got to beat.
Yeah.
Alright. He failed his roll,
So
so
you actually hit it.
roll a d6.
I'm stealing your
Say
d6.
it.
That's a
You have
3.
your own dice bag.
I know, but yours are out.
Okay,
Black.
and where are we?
So those two fought. These two exchanged shots.
Yeah.
Are you still wrestling
I
your
can
guy?
still try. I mean, I have yet to succeed. I just want to keep him occupied at this point, really. Cause
Yeah, and you.
What's Lassiter doing?
It doesn't really matter
He left.
Good.
Yeah.
because I'm handcuffed. I can't do anything if I get him off me. It's just
Right,
a matter of
right.
he's trying to hold me down, just trying to keep him occupied.
Yeah. No, I mean he's basically keeping you.
Right.
You two are kind of keeping each other
That's fine.
occupied at this point. So.
So it'd be right.
Okay, so
Avery shoot
yeah, Avery's gonna plug you again.
or try.
Yep. And that's a miss. What a
All right.
terrible roll.
Okay, well, I'm gonna try and shoot him
Okay.
again. Should I take aim for his head? Try and avoid that
Minus?
armor. It's a minus.
20.
You could do a call shot at -20 to skip his armor, because you don't have to hit his head. You could hit him in the leg or something,
Yeah.
or whatever, or just fire low or something like
If
that.
we get that'd be a 22.
Groin. What are the odds? 22%.
I mean, you've already hit him once. You could just try to hit him
Well, that
again.
was a critical. A single shot is going to be
Yeah.
hard to do anything with.
Yeah,
with the
if
top
he's
stopper.
if he's taking 3 off of it, I think, yeah, I'm better trying to cold shot him. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and go for a leg or something.
Okay.
Hit him right in the fruit.
Oh, 1.
Oh my
Second
god!
critical. Nice.
Nice.
You are so improbable!
Roll double damage.
Nice.
Alright, that's 7 points.
Of no armor.
So
No armor.
No armor, because
I was taking 6. That's
Well, you shoot him in the leg, all right,
Hit the
and
femoral
he
artery.
takes a couple of bullets and goes down hard and gushing blood, and
Is he unconscious?
yeah,
Okay, good.
and
Does he turn into a lizard person?
no,
Is it blue blood?
nope,
It's good old red.
regular
Earthy red.
American red blood, and you guys are making this a real pain in the ass. The other guard that you just whacked, Woodhouse, is
Good try to whack you.
whacking you in return.
I'm gonna try to dodge, I guess?
Can you arm combat or melee weapon? Well, either one's probably pretty good.
I mean, let me see. My dodge is 30, my melee weapon is 30, and my unarmed is 40.
Well, no, but is that blocking it? Can she block with her?
Yeah, you can fight back, and
Alright.
if you succeed and he fails, then you'll do unarmed damage instead of weapon damage.
Okay. So I'm doing unarmed combat? Is that what I'm rolling?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a 4.
He rolled a 6, which
So
is
he
higher than your.
succeeds.
Ah,
Higher.
So
I
Woodhouse,
rolled so well.
take 2 points of damage as the two of you are beating on each other. Okay, so Dressner, your guy, like
At this
jumps
point-
off of you.
Oh, does he? I was thinking either that or he's going to have to hit me over the head with it.
No, he jumps off of you and is going for his own pistol
Okay.
and pulling his own pistol out and
I'm just trying to fling myself back and hit him.
okay.
Knock him off.
Sure. Yeah. Roll. Make another strength roll.
That would be 31.
Okay. I'm gonna give him an opposing strength roll, which will succeed. So yeah, you don't get
That's
enough
enough.
momentum and leverage to
Understandable.
to do that. Okay. So new turn. Well, let me think. Hold on. So
Avery
that turn
or-
you dropped Avery. This guy had already acted, right? So it's a new turn, and he's getting off of you and pulling his pistol out,
Right.
and then it's your turn.
Okay.
Shoot somebody.
Jeez, I'm gonna have to shoot that guy then. The guy
Yeah,
with
just
the
got a
pistol.
pistol. Oh, you got it.
Okay.
Yeah. What's the chances?
Slim but hopeful.
No, I
It's a
failed.
miss altogether.
I missed.
Okay.
And then those two facing off with each other with their tongues.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Alright, I mean,
Who has the better dex? He does.
Yeah. So he's
You're
making
still
the
in
attack
defense.
here.
okay.
So he hits with a 23.
And I get an
80.
80.
So you miss.
All right. So take another
2.
2 points of damage as he's
Slowly
beating
whacking
you up against the wall, and that's the end of the.
Okay.
Well, that's the end of that turn. There. Let me think. This is all going really fast. There hasn't been a lot of time for people to respond.
Yeah.
Okay. So was that everybody this turn?
Yep.
Okay. So new turn, and your guy. There's one in this little chamber that has his gun out, and
And one beating on her.
fighting
That's
her.
it.
Yeah. So he's gonna open fire on you,
Of course.
Fulquist. Damn it. That's gonna hit.
Alright.
You gonna dodge? Or you gonna take it like a man?
I'm gonna try and jump through the door that we've opened.
Sure. Yeah, you can do that. You see him drawing a bead on you. You can try to get behind cover over there.
99.
Oh no.
Okay.
Fumble.
So, would you rather drop your pistol or flop to the ground?
Flop to the ground.
All right.
Slam in the door frame and go down.
Yeah. All right. So that's 5 damage. You have a vest on. That'll protect you for 3.
Okay.
So you lose 2 hit points.
All right.
As a bullet slams into your vest, and you flop to the ground. That's good, and that was your dodge fumble. So that's your turn this time. And you're still fighting, or are you gonna surrender?
I'm very badly wounded.
You're not.
I'm at 6.
Fighting.
It
I'm
hurts.
a 1. I'm a 1.
You're fighting for your life. Come on.
All
This
right.
guy- these people are gonna kill you.
All
They're gonna kill you.
right.
They're gonna
I'll
turn
go on
around
record. They did everything they
Wizard.
could to
To
not
not
make
kill
this
us.
bloody.
Exactly.
But go ahead.
All right.
They did.
Well, they should. They had no reason to pull their.
Yes, they did.
No, when
Sure.
we found their stuff. Well, what
Protect
were
their
they gonna
secrets.
do? Well, what were they gonna do?
Let the
with
world
us?
know that they are traveling through time.
No,
and-
I failed badly.
He got a critical hit.
Of course he did. I'm gonna die.
You might die.
You might.
I very well might die.
Oh yeah.
So that's 7 points of damage.
I had 6.
Beating you up against about the skull and knocking you down.
I'm dead.
Not necessarily
Dying.
dead.
You only
but
drop to 0.
Yeah, you just
You
go
don't
to
drop
0.
below 0.
And Woodhouse goes down hard.
There's blood on the wall where my
There
head
is
hit.
blood on the wall, yes. There's blood in a lot of places.
Yeah.
And it's a new turn. So the guy with the gun, he saw you go down, and
I'm trying to kick that guy.
trying to get your feet under you.
Yeah,
And
get under.
barrel
Or, I'm
him.
on the ground. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
roll over and try to use my kick the guy with the gun to distract
Okay.
him.
Yeah. All right.
Trip him.
He's
Yeah.
gonna shoot you.
Well,
So
he's gonna shoot me or she's gonna shoot him.
Fulquist, give me a luck roll, 50-50 chance, to see if he just keeps plugging you until you're dead, or if he's gonna
Get distracted.
aim at you and when
48.
Okay, so he keeps you covered, and then is sort of he's trying to kind of scoot away. So
Right,
make
so-
another. I don't know, your choice, strength or dex.
Well, for me, Dex is better, clearly.
Okay. Let's see if you get up all on his feet.
18.
18. All right, I'm gonna give him an opposed roll
That's
to
okay.
not
There we
to see if that.
Uh-huh.
And he fails it. So sure enough, you trip him up, and he kind of gets disoriented. And
Okay.
what do you do?
Shoot him.
Yeah.
Fulquist?
I might keep shooting at him.
Okay.
So yeah.
There's going to be a chance you're going to plug him at this point.
Yeah. Can you aim?
Yeah.
Spin around aiming?
Minus 20
He's on the
for a
ground
call
though.
shot.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
he's on the ground too.
That's the point. Is he got sort of tripped up and
Oh, he fell on the ground.
Well, no,
he's
that's
not
that guy.
prone, but he's kind of
That
down.
Oh, you know what? I'll spend my action to get back up on my feet.
Okay.
Yeah. That way I can have a.
Clear shot without risking me.
Sure. Okay. All right. Then
And yeah, I've got my gun on him. So.
next turn. So the guard that just beat Woodhouse bloody
Probably to death.
drops his club and draws his pistol, and the other one is let's see. Jesus, you just stood up with your gun again, so he's gonna try to shoot you,
Yes,
Fulquist.
of course.
But he's prone. He should get.
No, he's not prone.
No.
He's
Oh,
not.
he's not.
Okay, so that's gonna hit unless you wanna try to jump behind the wall for cover.
Yeah, I'm gonna go try and get behind that door.
Into the wall for
13.
Okay, so you get behind the wall and the bullets plug off the wall. It's dead.
Okay.
And you doing anything this time?
That I'm lying on the ground with two guys with guns now. I'm not.
You're handcuffed.
Yeah, handcuffed.
Okay. All right. So new turn, and they're so the two in there are both they're basically covering the door, getting ready to fire.
Okay. I'm booking it down the hallway.
Your dad
I
was
want to try and
dead.
find
Okay, we
Whatever's
So-
going on down there.
some other place to,
Somebody
because
can-
I've got an idea, but I don't want to do it in the room that he's also in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of book it around around a corner and come into a big kind of central area, central chamber that has 3 big elevator doors.
Did you get
And,
this morning?
No.
And as you sort of come around the corner there's like 3 big elevator doors, and there's
Well, it makes
4
that loading thing.
more guards
Not doing anything.
that have submachine guns that are like, 2 of them kneeling down and the other 2 sort of spaced out. One of them's using sort of the corner of the elevator recesses as really crappy cover and aiming at the direction you were coming from, and all of them immediately start screaming at you to drop your weapon.
So this sounds like
Yeah.
a good cliffhanger spot. Wait, it's 10:30 almost.
Is it?
10:20.
Oh.
We gotta go to bed. We gotta get up at 5.
Well,
Do you think? Or no?
why don't you tell me what you're gonna do? If you're gonna do something that's gonna take a lot of time to resolve, then
I'm gonna try and jump back around the corner, get out the grenade, and throw it in there.
okay. So we'll
Yeah.
talk about that next time.